And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition of the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 31. Once again, a Tuesday edition, no longer on Monday, technically here Wednesday. Welcome one and all to our weekly dose of PiGosaur action. Here we go! Exclamation mark! Be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. Welcome, of course. I'm your host, Light VIP. With you, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. We are jumping right on into our first series of the broadcast, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the orange Protoss player from the land of the Netherlands. It is Boanan. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Costa Rican Zerg player, the purple Zerg, representing Team LTK, licensed to kill. It is Eon. Ooh. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time, and get it in quick because we're cannon rushing. Of course we are. Let's go. The Gamba is on. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Will Boanan cannon rush? Will Eon survive? Up to you to decide, as we have a pool first here out of Eon. Boanan, of course, has a reputation for cannon rushing Eon scouts. Eon is aware. Eon is here to try to shut this down, as the gateway is throwing down the forge is already done back at home, and we'll see how Eon does handle himself so far. Does pull a couple of boys. Boys are being pulled. What I will say is that because the proxy is so far out here, I don't think it's necessary to pull the boys in such a fashion. But oh my god, Eon, oh yeah, he does overreact. Now pulls back away, and I'm not so certain that this is the best move here for Eon. He will kill a probe though. Not bad. Does get one probe kill. From here, we do have the cancel. The cannon is going to finish. And again, this is 4 drones not mining. 1 drone does go down. Eon behind this, double gases, working towards, I would imagine, his own Roach Warren. But again, this was a lot less mining time. Like a lot of these drones were not really mining. There wasn't the best use of them here. So a bit of a shaky response so far from Eon. A little bit shaky. Behind this, Cybercore's on the way. Cannon rush is continuing. What's that? Is that any emotes? I haven't seen that one before. It's the cannon. But yes. For those that are unaware, Boanan is known for cannon rushing. Boanan almost exclusively, not always, but maybe 80% of the time does cannon rush at the pro level, and has actually cannon rushed the hell out of some pro players. It's crazy. It's crazy. But so far the cannons are continuing. Eon behind this is already getting to roach production. We have 3 roaches on the way. Of course, prioritizing double gas to make sure they can morph into Ravagers. Once the Ravagers morph in, they can deny these. They can deny these cannons. They can shut them down. Oh. As the Overlord does pull away. There we go. 3 Ravagers are morphing in. Ooh, the Overlord barely does get onto the pillar. Oh, Ravagers have arrived. Nice damage. First piles do connect. I'm waiting for the next set. So be careful though. Again, the Stalkers are out. Oh. Behind this, no further tech yet. There's no Robo, there's no Stargate, just purely Stalkers. Moving in. So far, Eon very methodical with his play. Has already taken out 1 cannon. We have more cannons on the way, more shield barriers as well. Ravagers are getting low. He has to be careful. Speaking of, ooh, 1 Ravager is barely not going to go down. Whew. Pulls away in time. Gets a transfuse. Queens are moving in. Queens are moving forward. More Ravagers on the way. But now again, he's being zoned away from the cannons. Behind this, Lairs in production. So we've got 6 Ravagers so far, then into the lair. Oh, we can 2-shot, not bad. 1, almost 2 Stalkers go down. Oh, trades out 2 Ravagers though. Yeah, brutal trade, and this is not becoming worth it here. Has to pull back, has to pull away. Oh. As at a certain point, Boanan, he can soon just push himself off the ramp. Only 4 Ravagers left. And again, that trade wasn't worth it. It's 2 for 1. Now, of course, the lair will mean that Nidus is going to be available to Nidus across the map. It's going to be tricky, though, because of the current setup, there are no spike walls on the high ground. So if Eon were to Nidus across the map, true, he can get some damage done, but then the Stalkers can just move in, right? They can just move into the main and punish. Meanwhile, the Adept does come into the shade, is now aware of the lair. Lair hasn't swatted. And I'm assuming we're going for the Nidus Storm. I mean, the other option is we can go for Dropper Lords. And we can Dropper Lord out of the base. There we go, Nidus is in production. There is no link speed. All the gas has been spent on Ravagers. And you have a nice balance here of units to send across the map and also units to keep back at home. And speaking of, there are 2 Stalkers back across the map. Bonan is on patrol looking for Nidus Worms. Which means Lings on their own won't be enough to break this. There's a shield battery, there's 2 Stalkers, there's going to be defensive warpins, Blink is on the way. Eon trying to Nidus into the main. At the same time, Bonan going for a ninja base. Oh. Does go for the ninja. It's a gift. No. Cohopium. Yeah, Nidus is going to be shut down. Oh, now we're going to try to break through this army. With link speed, I think it's possible. Meanwhile, Infestation Pit. Are we going 1-base Swarm Host? I mean, that would be a way to trade efficiently, I suppose. Okay, I can get behind it. Like Nidus Swarm Host. Oh no! Ooh. Bonan does blink in. Gets 1, gets 2. And 2 Ravagers go down. Ravagers do fall. Eon being contained, but yep, there we go. Swarm Hosts are in production. Eon can't afford too many Storm Hosts though. Not yet. Like I said, the Overlord is being hunted down. But I'm curious to see how the Storm Hosts are used. Are they used to harass across the map or to try to break this siege? Another Ravager gets picked off. The base is getting up and running. Eon is falling behind. As Bonan is claiming a greater economy. Okay, here comes that Locust Wave, collapsing on the Stalkers. But again, they have plenty of shield batteries. They should be fine. Now the Storm Hosts are revealed. Bonan should be getting cannons back at home to help defend these mineral lines. As Locust said, don't get much done. Not yet, and Bonan taking more bases. Ay, ay, ay. I'll be honest, I don't think that with Storm Hosts you can break this. I'll be honest. I was hoping they would be used across the map instead. Blink is on cooldown, okay. But again, that's what? That's 8 shield batteries? He gets up. Doesn't get a Stalker. Yeah, doesn't get a Stalker. Gets maybe a cannon. No, not even. Again, it's just a lot of shield batteries. There's the Nidus Worm. But this, unfortunately, this does feel quite late here for Eon. Like, Bonan's already getting a third. Third base is on the way. The Ravager cannon is getting very low. Nidus gets spotted. Yeah, and Bowenan's in control. At this point, Bowenan's fully in control here. Just as expanding. From a certain point, we can afford to get into Sky Toss or get into Robotech. Locals catches out a Stalker. Gets one. Up. Can we get two? And not bad. With the help of these Locusts, we are forcing this back at least a little bit, but Ravagers have to get the hell out of here. Local save runs out. Ravagers have to pull away. Roach goes down. And Eon, he will break out. What's important about that fight is now 0 energy. Now the shield bars are out of energy. This position is finally going to be broken. I spoke too soon. I mean, it's true. They are out of energy. That is true. But now charge is done. Again, building up a greater economy. Oh, the starter stepping. Let's go. Takes on 2 pylons and a shield battery. Actually does supply both Bowenan. Now the Stormhost count has been slowly getting higher. We have how many so far? We have 15, soon to be 19 Stormhost. This position has been broken. Bowenan still has a terrifying army. Checking the vision. Unfortunately, Eon, he has no overlords. The overlords were hunted down earlier, so he has no vision out on the map. Not currently. So he cannot Nidus Worm. He does break out. And even though he breaks this contain, he still needs to Nidus, just because the last thing he wants to do is move out of the map with these swarm hosts and get caught out. And get caught out in the open by this kind of army. So he does need that kind of escape route. Oh, and then moving in. Eon finally expands. As Bowenan is now getting a 4th expansion. And Bowenan is committing. The Stormhost, the Locust, I'm sure they can deal with some of these Zealots, but the Archons are brutal. The Archons, they can just mow their way through. Nice kiting here by Bowenan. Let's kite back. And it should be able to handle himself. Locust wave about to run out. I mean, may as well just wait it out at this point. And there's nothing here. there's just nothing here. It's a bunch of dead supply. And here comes Bowenan, pushing on forward, getting on top of the queens, diving on the Stormhosts themselves. And there just is nothing left. There we go. Locust wave just now getting ready. But he's moving into 6 Archons. Sorry, 7 Archons even. Once again, Bowenan just waiting it out. And unfortunately, this breakout from Eon, it just took a little bit too long. It's just unfortunate that Eon, his first wave of Nidus Swarms were shut down. It was like 2-3 Nidus Swarms that didn't really do anything. Likewise, he bled out a lot of Ravagers early on as well. And it led to this game state. I do like the idea of going to Stormhosts in this position. It was just really late. It was just a late kind of transition here. And there we go. The natural goes down. Bowenan pushing into the main. And Eon is trapped. There's just not much left. And GG gets called down to 9 workers towards the end. And Bowenan will pull off the cannon rush. GG. GG well played again. Bowenan known for cannon rushing and most likely will continue to do this throughout the series. We'll see if Eon is able to have a bit of a more stronger response to that or even have his own aggression in mind. We'll see. We shall see. As we are getting into our next game. Oh, the smudge. Oh no, not like this. Here we go. We're getting into game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Ultra Love. And the question is not whether or not Bonan is going to cannon rush. The question is Eon going to survive it? Can he survive it? Can he counter attack? Can he break out? Can he get some damage done across the map? Now, thankfully, if Eon was not familiar with Bonan, now he has a better idea. Now he has a better idea of the kind of player he's up against. And we'll see if he's a little bit better prepared coming into this. Let's go. Honestly, I was really impressed by Eon's initial Ravager response. It was really crisp. It was really clean. I will say that for sure. 100%. But we'll see where he goes from here. So loading into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the orange Protoss player. We have the orange Protoss player from the Netherlands, leading the series 1-0. It is the cannon rusher himself. It is Bonan. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Costa Rican Zerg player, the purple Zerg, going gas first, going for a 13-12. Oh, let's go. It is Eon. Let's go. 13-12 out of Eon. This is going to be a much more aggressive response, and ideally is going to put Bonan on the back foot. I'm curious if this is going to be for an early roach rush. That would make the most sense in my mind in this matchup, as the probe is moving in and the forge has been placed. So once again, forge opener out of Bonan. Once again, cannon rush is setting up, but this time Eon is not expanding. This time Eon is setting up for an earlier gas and earlier pull. This can lead into earlier Ling speed and earlier Bane bust, or it can lead into earlier roaches. One or the other. Let's go. Let's find out where this takes us. As the spawning pool is done, Lings are on the way. Gas being spent on link speed, and we are staying in gas. We're staying in gas. The fact that we're going into link speed here tells me that we're most likely going into a Bane bust. That would be a way to deal with this kind of position, but we'll see. Ravens to get across the map. Links are out. Eon, he has yet to confirm what's going on, as the cannon is almost done. Yeah, it does confirm. Cannon is complete, and Lings, they can actually move across the map. Yeah, they can just go across the map. Now, this will force an earlier wall out of Bonan, so he has to invest early on here into this cannon, into this wall off. Now, Bonan, he should be fine against the Lings, and we can see not a Bane bust, Roach Rush, which I do like a lot more. So we're going into Roach production. Eon, he will get across the map. He can nibble away at the wall, but the cannon should complete in time. But these earlier roaches, it's going to be an easier way, or an earlier way for Eon to deal with those cannons. The drone count, though, is still very low. That's my biggest concern. I mean, roaches, they can be quite expensive, Ravagers especially. So the lack of workers here is concerning. The Zealot does waddle in. Roaches have arrived. The Zealots will not get a drone. Nice defense so far here by Eon. Here we go. He has enough to morph in 2 Ravagers. And with this, he can start to slow this down, but we already have 1 Stalker being chronoed. Just get the blouse off. Just get the blouse off. So far, the first cannon is going to go down. Likewise, having the Stalker, but alas, there's a shield battery. All the whiles. Oh my god, they take down the first Stalker, but he loses the Ravager in the process. That is a brutal loss. Bleeds out a Ravager. Speaking of, another one under fire. Nice, the shield battery. He has to get the hell out of here again. That Ravager is so low. And I'm not too fond of some of these trades. I mean, losing the first Ravager is just brutal. It's just a brutal loss early on. And Eon's not droning. Eon is not droning up. Takes down one of the cannons. More Lings flooding in, but we're trading out Lings. Yeah, efficient trade here from Bonan. And another Ravager. Oh! Does get away. But he wants it. And this is looking dire. Just because of the low drone count. Like, the low economy here means that there's not really much to work with. And Bonan's building up. He's building up quite hard. Another Ravager goes down. Down to 2 Ravagers. Okay, up to 3. But at this point, Eon cannot break this. Not anymore. It's too late. It's too late to break this. Like, this position is looking too well fortified. There are too many cannons, too many shield batteries. Oh, unless we stand in the biles. True. But these drones are very late. We're making 2 workers now. We've been on 13 drones the entire time. But Eon needs to drone, needs to saturate, take a gas geyser, get a lair up and running, and work into Nidus or work into Swarmers, work into anything else. But the problem here is that this time this is late compared to last game. It's just a later saturation, later transition. The Ravagers were earlier this game, but he was unable to slow down the cannon rush. So well, it wasn't worth it in the end. Yeah, as a setup here, it's gotten out of hand. To have Blink on the way. I think the other thing that's important about this cannon rush as well is that very often you see cannon rushes with Stargates or cannon rushes with Robos, but because it's a cannon rush with Gateways and Blink Stalkers, the Stalker count gets high very early on, and it helps support this position a lot faster, a lot sooner than what Immortals or Void Rays would, for example. As we try to break out, Ling's going to be cleaned up, Ravagers being targeted down, and Bonan, he will break through. GG gets called. Bonan deals with the army and will take the series at 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Bonan flexing his cannon rushing skills here and taking down Eon. Again, Bonan has a reputation, does nothing but cannon rush in every matchup, not just against Zerg, but against Protoss, against Terran as well. Very cheesy player, but also very renowned and very well experienced with that cheese. GG. GG, well played with that. Congratulations. Bonan will advance on to the next round. And, ooh, it's time to follow Bonan into that next series. Let's go. Let us go. That is going to be the plan. As we can have a look at the bracket and catch up on what has been going on. Let's go. Exclamation mark. Be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Let us switch our scenes over and catch on up. From the top, we have the #1 seed of the tournament. We have MaxPax. MaxPax, he is now up against Gilliman, the Korean Terran player, in the first or in the second round. They're facing off in the round 32. Scrolling down, we have Davito versus Yan. I was very tempted to jump on that TVT, I'll be honest. I was very tempted. So best of luck to Davo, best of luck to Yan as they face off in the first round as well. We then have Master and Masters up against, oh, there was a walkover. Ay, ay, ay. Unfortunately, there was a walkover in the first round. Eggs did not compete, and we do have No Prets up against Master in the second round. We have our series. SKillous gets a walkover, and we have SKillous versus Bonan in the round of 16. That is going to be our next matchup. We're going to be getting into a PvP. Just has to message the players and let them know. We'll let them know. Scoring down, we have Wayne. Wayne takes out Mudkip Master. Wayne waiting for the winner of Bomyoja and Abaddon even. We have Solar. Solar gets a walkover in the first round, and more matches are continuing here. I believe Solar is the second seed of the tournament. I did just realize that for this week, we do not have a hero, for example. There's no cure either. Actually, we're missing a lot of the Koreans. A lot of the Koreans are missing here this time. They are missing this week. So I'm just setting up our next series. Beautiful. Scrolling down further, we have Patches. Patches up against Shine in the second round. That's a big win. Sorry, is that Chino? God, I'm blind. All right, sorry, Shino, yeah. Shino takes down Prome 2-0. Impressive play there by Shino. We have Astrea. He's up against Rebellion in the second round, and we have Mute waiting for the winner of Percival and Mocha. So the first round is looking to conclude, getting into round 2. And again, we're following Skillous into Boanan, and we're going to ideally follow that into Wayne. That is the plan, at least. Is the plan. For now, though, we're going to be going on a very short break, waiting for our players to conduct their vetoes, and we'll soon jump into our next series. So see you soon after the break. See you soon. Bye. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second series of the broadcast, second series of the PiGosaur Cup number 31. We are jumping in and continuing our cannon rusher. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the orange Protoss player, the Protoss player from the Netherlands. It is Boanan. I'm ready for the forge. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player from land of the Netherlands, I guess, as well. True. Living in the Netherlands, in Nazul's basement. It is SKillous for Team Liquid. Let us go. As the forge has been thrown down, and we are setting up for the cannon rush. Let's go. Let us go. Boanan is moving in with his first probe. Second probe is also on the way, and Skillous back at home. We'll see if he can hold, if he can defend. We'll see how he does respond. Again, Boanan has a reputation, especially amongst the European Protosses or European players, they all know. And here we go. We do see Skillous. He does pull the boys, focusing on that probe. The pylon has been thrown down. And we do have our set of pylons here already being set up. You can see Skillous on patrol on the low ground. Meanwhile, does wall himself in. The first cannon is going to be thrown down. So we have one cannon in the main so far. From here, Boanan will most likely break out. Oh, does force his way out, actually. It does move out. The pylon is under fire. The cannon's on the way. Do we have a backup cannon? Not quite, not yet. Oh, as the gateway is denied. Probe rotates around. Cancel the pylons. The gateway does lock in some of the probes. It does lock him in. Cannon is done. Oh, that's going to be a kill, no cancel. And this cannon should eventually fall. Behind this, no extra cannons. Probes have gone down. And Skillous he's holding. I say that he's losing a lot of probes in the process, but I believe there are 0 probes left. Yeah, 0. There's 0 workers left. So with that, we do pull away. Zelt's in production. The cannon is going to be left alone. But there is a backup probe on the way here for Boanan. Now, Skillous could try to fully wall off here. Yeah, speaking of, the boys have arrived. They hit a wall. Yeah, the pylon on the right-hand side was dealt with. Bonan, he's going to try to find a way in. Oh, is denied. Oh, the cannon's actually within range. Oh, God. Cannon's within range of the wall. Can we get it? Oh, oh, he's trying. And he will. Oh, that's dangerous. He does get in for a moment, but one slither of HP away. So close to going down. It does get past. The cannon rush continues. And this is getting dangerous. Yeah, GG gets called. The cannon rush does continue, and Bonan takes game 1 in the series. Whew, GG. That was so close, Skills. He was so close to holding, so close to defending. If only he had gotten on top of that probe. Alas, he barely didn't. It was on a slither of HP with that. GG. GG, well played with that. Bonan does take the first game here, and we'll see if Bonan can take the series. Skillous, he's favored to go on a deep run in this tournament. He's favored to make it far and to make it to the semis, maybe even the grand finals, but Bonan, he's dangerous. He's dangerous. He can bring anyone down. Let's go. Also, I just realized that I did not open up predictions for that. I was so engrossed in the cannon rush. But predictions are now open. They are now open. So place your bets. Does Skillous survive? Does Bonan take down another victim? Oh no. Let's go. As we are getting into game number 2. I get very clean control there by Bonan. Getting that initial cannon up and running. Walling off the area as well. Can he do it again? Maybe. Oh no. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the player leading the series 1-0 from the land of the Netherlands, the Orange Protoss, the Cannon Rusher. It is Bonan. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid down in the series. We'll see if he can survive. We'll see if he can make it through into the next round. It is Skillous. We go. Still can't get over that time you absolutely stomp on it. Yeah, I mean, cannon rushes can be really deadly. I mean, famously, of course, Maru, he went down to Prince in GSL to a cannon rush as well. Like, if Maru can die to a cannon rush, anyone can die to a cannon rush. Likewise, Zest, he lost to Probe Scout, if you recall, also to a cannon rush. This was a couple of years ago. Probe Scout, of course, a renowned NA cannon rusher, at least he used to be when he was active. As here we go, the cannon rush has commenced. We do see Skillous trying to wall his opponent off there with his own pylons. Okay, interesting approach. Okay, it has been placed. Behind this, there is that forge. But so far, Skillous is on patrol. He does deny the low ground. You see Bonan rotating back around. Again, he's got his 2 probes going back in. The pylon is done, but the first zealot has arrived. With the first zealot coming out, I think we hold. As Skillous, he can focus on that pylon. It feels a little bit too late here for the cannons. Yeah, pylon goes down. Second pylon as well. And Skillous holds. Skillous, he does hold on. Despite the probes, there's just no setup here. And again, a really cool way to deal with the cannon rush from Skillous. It happened so quickly, but Skillous, he threw down his own pylons to wall off his opponent. It was really cool. So he pylon walled Bonan away from the cannon rush spot. And with that, Skillous, he does hold, does defend. Bonan trying to transition out of this, going for the gateway and going for the cyber core, but this is so late. And we have a game. Now, I haven't really seen much of Bonan outside of cannon rushing. I have seen him like go into proxies and go into all-ins of some kind. But this is where Skillous can thrive. Now that we're kind of forcing out a longer game state. Let's go. A dark horse in the shape of a cannon rush. Oh no. Of a photon cannon. Aye, aye, aye. Let's go. Skillous, let's get behind the mineral line. Getting one probe. Takes down one. Meanwhile, Bonan is moving out for a proxy. Skillous getting some more workers though. Takes down the Zealot. Oh, gets a second probe. Gets a third. Yeah, 3 probes go down. Nice snipes. Bonan, we're looking to this probe. Here comes that proxy. Now from here we can go proxy robo, or we can just throw down extra gateways and just go for a mass like stalker sentry all in. As that does shade into the main. More probes going to be going down. Getting 2 more. 2 more probe kills. It is going to be proxy robo. Yeah, coming to the 1 base all in. Now, I'm a little bit scared for Skillous in this position. Skillous is being a little bit greedy in a sense, is going for a Stargate opener into a Nexus. I say greedy, technically we can make Void Rays, true. So Skillous has access to Void Rays. Once he realizes how much danger he's in, Void Rays should be on the way. And Skillous, he will have the tools to defend. Once he recognizes how much danger he's in. As I don't see a Void Ray yet. Rob is still on the way. Bonan doing what he can. Oh, Oracle does get in. Shield Battery's not ready. Yeah, late Shield Battery. The mineral line's going to go down. And with that, Bonan, he is crippled. Void Ray production has begun. And Skillous, he's all over this. Nice force fields, but alas, we still have too many Stalkers. Uh-oh. Still 4 Stalkers, 5 Stalkers, even 4. Bonan does kite back. And kites back, takes out the probes. Again, Shield Battery's out of energy. We do have a backup Shield Battery on the way. Another Warping is almost done. Ooh, Bonan bleeds out a Stalker. Stalker goes down, the Immortal is almost out. And again, back at home, he's down to 9 probes, barely an economy. The Void Ray has arrived. Shield Batteries, they've repowered. And Bonan is on a timer. He has to end the game here and now. Oh, doesn't get the Void Ray. Yeah, the Shield Batteries, they keep it up. GG gets called. Skillous, he holds, and Skillous, he ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Skillous does tie things up. Again, Skillous, he was able to get across the map and punish his opponent. The Shield Battery was just too late for Bonan. It was, what, halfway done by the time the Oracle got in. Likewise, we did see Skillous recognizing the all-in, got into his own Void Ray back at home. GG. GG, well played. Whew, an intense game, and with that, we're now getting into the ace match. How will this story end? Will it go the way of Skillous or Bonan? Once again, Bonan is going to start with a cannon rush, I'm sure, but this time Skillous, he is that much more warmed up to defend against it. Let's go. Let's see if he can hold it, see if he can survive and defend. As we're getting ready for that final game. Ooh, it's going to be on Pylon. Okay. Now, I'm unfamiliar with how strong or how weak cannon rushes are on specific maps in the new map pool. I know that some maps can have a bit of an easier position to wall up and wall off, especially within range of the mineral line. Other maps less so. So I'm not too familiar. So we're going to find out together. Let's go. Nearly 4 years since Probe Scout beat Zest. Oh no, it's been so long. So long. Still burned into my memory though. Never forget. It's like Mario losing the prince. It's like... Or Nickratch beating MaxPax. True. There's certain iconic matches. Never forget. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we do have the orange Protoss player, the Protoss player from the Netherlands, being forced into the ace match. The cannon rusher himself, it is Bonan. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid, forcing the ace match, bringing us here to Game 3. Can he keep this up? Can he keep this going? It is Skillous. Oh, as this time, Bonan is not going for the cannon rush into the base, into the mineral lines. Typically, we'd see it here, in between the bases, low ground cannons, high ground cannons, threatening the gases, threatening the mineral line itself. This time, Bonan setting up outside of the natural. And this time, there is no forge. No forge whatsoever. We're going for a flower. We're going for a gasless proxy. Oh, not a flower. There is a forge alongside this. Okay, so 2 gateways and a forge. Bonan does dip in. Of course, SKillous does probe scout. SKillous does confirm that nothing is back at home. So cannons are still going to be included in this. This is not, a proxy 4 gate. Only 2. Speaking of, Bonan does get 1 pylon up and running. He now has high ground vision. Probe does pull away. And SKillous, he will scout. Yeah, he does scout, does confirm. Zealots are in production. There's that low ground cannon. And ideally, these cannons can help support the Zealots. When it comes to breaking this position and breaking the ramp. It does wall him in. Yeah, it does wall SKillous in. He can set up on the other side. Boys are being pulled. Zealots have arrived. Has to keep this probe alive, though. Oh my god, does survive. Does get out. More cannons on the way, but alas, the Bonan almost gets surrounded. And the first Zealot is going to go down. The cannon does finish. Yeah, the cannon rush commence. And he still maintains the high ground. No shot. Yeah, he still has the high ground. And more cannons on the way. The pylon does survive. And this is getting dangerous here for SKillous. As this second cannon is going to finish. Oh no. It's gonna finish now. This is all powered by 1 pylon, which is scary. Stalkers are on the way. The first stalker has arrived. Shield barrier's on the way. Yeah, he's targeting down that pylon. It's only 1 pylon. The Artosis pylon. It's gonna go down. No. 1 more shot. Everything gets depowered. But the Zealots are breaking through. They're breaking through. We have a backup pylon on the way. They're going for the gateway. And they will bring it down. The cannons that get repowered. Gateway falls. And there's 1 gateway left. There's 1 gateway remaining. Behind this is no more production. There are 2 stalkers. But now this position is fortified. He cannot break it. The pylon goes down. Depowers the gateway. And two stalkers. That's all we have. That's all the SKillous has. 2 stalkers. Behind this backup cybercore. Not a gateway. He's getting his own shield batteries. I mean, getting a backup cybercore because the first one is under fire. Going for a Stargate response. Okay. But it's going to take a long time. It's going to take so long here. The question now becomes, can Bonan gain ground? Can he push further from this position? Behind this, taking gases. Behind this, a cybercore on the low ground. It's a dangerous position for the cybercore, by the way. Going into Stalkers. Yeah, SKillous, he maintains his position. The Stargate's almost done. And Bonan pushing into 3 shield batteries. It's not going to be easy. I say that 1 shield battery out of energy. Second shield battery almost out as well. As more shield batteries are completing. And the void rate's gonna pop. Yeah, the void rate is gonna pop out. Another stalker has arrived. Shield batteries are running out of energy. Another stalker goes down. SKillous, he's holding. He's holding for the void ray. The void ray is out. He has, meanwhile, 4 stalkers. Another shield battery does finish up in time. Oh my god, brutal prismatic alignment. Doesn't quite catch the stalker. Oh, the void! Oh my god, he gets it! Oh, he's so close. He hesitated. No, he was so close. Bonan, he pulled back in that one moment. He hesitated. Ay, ay, ay. And now the second void ray is about to arrive. Yeah, it's gonna get up to 2 void rays. And with 2 voids, I mean, with all these shield batteries as well. Oh. mean, respect the burst damage of all these Stalkers. As Warriors, they take over the high ground, they take down the cannon. Nice force field, locking down those Stalkers. Gets one, gets two. Yeah, with that skills, he maintains the main. He holds onto the main base, third Void Ray swapping out. It's getting easier and easier here for SKillous. He's weathered the storm. He's made it through. Oh, wow, I say that, does overextend. Bleeds out a Void Ray. Bleeds out one. Got two Void Rays left. Prismatic alignments are now on cooldown. Got how many? We've got 8 Stalkers so far. Blink is on the way. Let's go. Blink is in production. Once again, this is all powered by one Artosis Pylon. And the Pylon is going to be targeted. Everything gets depowered. And he'll lose control of this position. Behind this, going up to 4-gate Blink. Has to rebuild the Cybercore. Now, the best that Bonan can hope for is that he's able to catch SKillous out in the open, but he bleeds out 2 more Stalkers. Every Stalker counts. Every Stalker is valuable here for Bonan. And he will lose control of these gateways as well. Yeah, gateways are depowered. Now he's down to 2 gates. And SKillous, he has this. He has this. There's no way to fight this head on. Not anymore. It was close. It was intense. But SKillous, he kept calm. Cool, calm, collected hedge. He survived. Let's go. Let's go. So he does break out. Likewise, Blink is almost done, true. We'll still have Blink. But again, he's down to how many? 8 Stalkers. Gateway's under fire. It's gonna go down. Force does buy some time. Not bad. Locks down one of the Stalkers. But there's no more sentry. Now there's no more sentry. SKillous, he can still move in, even reinforcing with that pylon from the early game. Let's go. Another sentry has arrived. Ooh, nice snipe. Nice snipe from Bonan. Behind the skill, just expanding. Getting his own natural. Takes down another gate. And GG gets told. The writing is on the wall. There's just no way for Bonan to break out. And SKillous, he will take the series 2-1. He will survive and he will advance on into the next round. GG. GG, well played SKillous. He will survive Bonan. He will make it through into the next round. That was very close, though, very clutch. The moment that Bonan got the cannon up on the high ground, I was like, yo, this like this is getting dangerous. Now, thankfully, SKillous did kill the pylon in time, so it depowered all the cannons for a period of time, which allowed him to get more Stalkers, which allowed him to buy more time for his shield batteries, for his Stargate, for his Void Rays. We saw that despite that, Bonan, he was getting some damage done, but he couldn't really gain any more ground. He couldn't really push into the base of SKillous, not against 5 shield batteries, not against that kind of setup, especially not against the Void Rays. GG. GG, well played. Still was quite close, still was very intense. Regardless, SKillous, he will claim the series. And with that, we have some updates on the bracket. With that, we have some updates here. Exclamation mark be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Let us switch on over, just catching up in the chat. In the immortal words of Magnath, this is the unbeatable build. Oh no. Oh no. That's a self-report from Magnath. Let's go. Bone on Teamless? Yes. Teamless. These cannon rush. They're terrified. They can take down anyone, Papi. They can take down anyone. It's crazy. It's crazy. Smurge. But here we go. We're getting to the rest of our updates here. From the top, we have Master. He does advance on to the quarterfinals, waiting for the winner of MaxPax and Yen. Oh, Yen takes down Tavito 2-1. Very close back and forth between the two Terran players from Latino America. Oh, sorry. I'll scroll down a little bit. There we go. So Yen facing off against MaxPax, winner goes up against Master. So MaxPax going through a plethora of Brazilian players here. Yen and Master both from Brazil. Best of luck to MaxPax. Scrolling down, we have SKillous waiting for the winner of Wayne and Abaddon. That is what we are waiting for. So we're waiting for currently Wayne and Abaddon. They're 8 minutes into their game. We're going to be waiting for that to wrap up, or we're going to be waiting for it to open up for us, and we'll be jumping into that series or jumping into the winner against SKillous. Here we go. That is going to be our next setup. Someone should sponsor an all cannon rush team. That's already happened, right? Like, hold on. All things Protoss Team League. I believe there was a team called Only Cannon Rushers, right? Sorry, Only Cannons. There you go. That happened. In this season of the All Things Protoss Team League, it was Only Cannons with pure Protoss, and they only cannon rushed. I mean, if Xenodactyl's on the team, you know it's going to be Only Cannons. True. They're all disgusting. Disgusting, baby, disgusting. But scrolling down, we have Solar. Solar's up against Pig in the next round. They're facing off in their own matchup. We have Patches up against Shino. Astrea waiting for the winner of Percival and Mute as well. I did see someone earlier asking for some Astrea action. I agree. I would love to cover some Astrea as well, but maybe we can catch him later on. For now, we're focusing on the upper half of the bracket. For now, we're focusing on SKillous, Wayne, and Abaddon. But once we wrap this up, then we might be able to head on over to the lower brackets and catch some Astrea action. Right now, though, I would say that Astrea is favored to make it far. I mean, best of luck to Percival and Mute, but Astrea is going to be the heavy favorite to most likely make it to the semifinals. Same with Solar, right? There are certain key players here like Solar, like Astrea, like MaxPax, which are like these big heavy hitters to make it far. I would say that there's maybe a little bit more leeway in our section of the bracket. SKillous, Wayne, and Abaddon, I want to say there's potential for more variance and ace matches, and it's not as clear cut. One of the reasons why we dove on the Bonan Eon series is because it looked like it was going to lead into SKillous and Wayne, and to me that's how that looks spicy, baby. Looks spicy. Let's go. So that's the reason why we dove on this series to begin with. Actually, I should clean this up a little bit. There we go. We have our top 8. Now for our top 8. Gotcha. I remember that. Perfect. Oh no. For now, though, we're going to be going on a break. For now, though, we're going to be going on a short break. And again, we're waiting for Wayne's match to wrap up, or at least for the game to wrap up. They're currently 10 minutes in. I'm very unfamiliar with Abaddon. Apparently, he's a GM, though. Apparently, he's a GM on the European server. But I've never cast him before. I've never seen him before. So I'm curious to see how he compares. So I'm very unfamiliar. So best of luck to our players. 5.5k. Let's go. Astrea versus MaxPax finals will be cool. PvP. I mean, we expect PvPs in these tournaments. That's true. We do expect it. What I will say is that typically, I mean, I say we expect it. We usually expect PvTs, but this week there is no Clem, there's no Björn, there's no Cure. A lot of our typical Terran representatives aren't here. actually, now that I look at the brackets, we have Percival waving that Terran flag, Yen as well, but like the bigger names are not present, not this week. So it's a more Protoss dominant bracket with some Zerg sprinkled in. Of course, Solar and Wayne, they're going to be there to do what they can. And I want to believe that maybe we can avoid the mirror matchup finals, but we'll see. We shall see. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. And we'll see you guys after said break. See you soon. See you soon. Bye. See you soon. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the PiGosaur Cup number 31. Welcome back to our Tuesday edition of this tournament, and welcome to the quarterfinals. We've worked our way through here. We're done with the cannon rushes, I'm hoping for now, and we can embrace a different matchup, another ZVP, a more standard ZVP is spawning in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha. We have the yellow Zerg player. We have the man himself, the man of the hour. He's not Vanya. Oh, I mean, he is Vanya. Not Radita. It is Wayne. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat, as the winner of this matchup will advance on into the semi-finals. Oh my god, we've been blazing through the tournament so far. These matches have been real fast and real quick because it's been nothing but cheese and nothing but cannons. I will say that. Has been hyper aggressive so far when it comes to the players that we've been covering, but now we should slow things down a little bit at least. Now, when it comes to Wayne's tendencies in this matchup, I know that I said we should slow things down. Wayne, he's very fond of 3-base all-ins. 3-base play is where Wayne does thrive, but as I say that, we are loading into Maganatha. Maganatha is the largest map in the tournament map pool. You don't get larger, you don't get bigger than Maganatha, so this will favor longer macro play. So we'll see if Wayne is able to work against that, able to break SKillous, or if we do end up in a longer macro game. For now, gate expanded. The Cybercore standard opener at the SKillous. Likewise, Wayne going hatch gas bull force, like the unnatural natural. So far, so good. So far, standard openers. And again, welcome to Maganatha. We have rocks all over the place. We have rocks, we have towers, we got more rocks, we got towers, we got towers on rocks, on other, we got towers on towers as well. True. Jesus. It's pretty insane. I'm pretty sure this map was made as a meme. Like, I don't think Hyper One intended for this map to ever be released to the public, but he might be an animal like that. It's true, Hyper One, yeah, I can believe that. God damn it. But you know what, did make it into the map pool. True. Magnath has in one way or another been immortalized into StarCraft. And we'll see how our players will approach this. But now we do see skills being as annoying as possible. Ideally, you want to delay this expansion long enough for the adept to arrive, but alas, it takes so long to get here. Second pylon gets thrown down, and the adept, can he make it? The adept is on the way, and the goal here is to snipe that drone. Up, it's gonna be close. Oh my god, he gets there in time. He's going for the drone, and he will delay. He does get a kill. And just like that, the third base is delayed, is denied. We have a backup third on the way. But so far, SKillous does get away in time again. That was so close, so clutch. 3 HP on that adept. Again, the second pylon was worth it. I believe did cancel everything, assuming nothing was killed. There we go. The adept finally goes down. But yeah, did cancel the pylon in the end, and that does disrupt the build. It does slow Wayne down. From here, we do have Wayne moving out across the map. He was forced to make all these lings, and with said lings, he can try to apply some pressure. Alas, the wall is solid. The first Oracle has arrived, and the second Oracle is on the way. So far, Stargate opener into Oracle into a third base. Wayne, though, he is here to delay the third. He's in both third base locations. He is ready. Likewise, SKillous dips into the main. Queen's in position. Wayne does react in time. Fast Evo Chamber here. This does scream +1 melee. This does scream Ling Hydra. As you mentioned before, we do expect a Ling Hydra. Oh, actually, double Evo Chamber? That's not normal. Stays. Oh no, he doesn't pull away. Oh my god, doesn't pull away. Half the middle line gets caught out. And we have double Evo Chamber, an Evo Chamber here at the third, Evo Chamber in the main. This I'm not familiar with. Usually you go 1 for +1 melee, maybe you go +1 range for a Hydra all-in, but double Evo Chamber is a rarer sight here in this matchup. Assuming that this is intentional, melee's on the way, which makes sense. Are we getting into range as well? Are we getting to carapace, or is this second Evo Chamber a mistake? I think it was a mistake because we didn't have the gas. Yeah, that was okay. It happens to the best of us, where you believe you threw down a building and then you pan over it, you don't see it, so you throw it down again at another base, and then you realize, oh, I already had it. So yeah, we do have that second Evo Chamber. A bit of a waste of resources, but not the biggest of deals. Only minerals. As from here, Wayne is going into Ling Hydra. Lings, they do get across the map, but the Oracle runs out of energy to defend. Their base under fire. More Lings flooding across the map. And we do get some surrounds here. We do get one Adept. One Adept goes down. Second Adept as well. Nice pickups here out of Wayne. Very nice. Takes down two Adepts, pulls away, and we do have, there we go, Carapace in production. Carapace is a rare sight in this matchup just because Carapace is less effective than the attack upgrades. But, I mean, we have a second Evo Chamber, may as well make use of it. May as well. Oh my god, Wayne. As we often see the triangular third taken as a fourth, or maybe even the center base, but I've never seen bottom left, one of the corner bases taken as a fourth base. I mean, it's very out of the way, it's very isolated, but also the chances of this being scouted are a lot lower. Okay. Double expanding. Let's go. Wayne gets his fourth, gets his fifth base. You have my attention. Baneliness is on the way, getting to Ling Bane for now. Lair is... This is all on Hatch Tech. Still no... How late is the Lair? Jeez, 6:20 Lair timing. Okay. Interesting. +1 melee is done. We cannot start +2. Stasis into the main once again. And Wayne... Oh no! He doesn't pull away! Not again! As we get another Stasis in the main. Likewise, with these Oracles, he can't force a cancel. He can, and he will. There we go, does force a cancel, the Oracles, ooh, one of them gets punished though. But last SKillous, he does not know that another base was taken earlier. That cancellation, it doesn't matter as much, so a better trade here for Wayne. Does pick up the Oracle. Does pick him up. Towers. I just saw in the chat. Towers on my mom. Oh no. The towers there. Oh no! Thank god. As the towers are everywhere. Meanwhile, SKillous does move out with his initial charge Archon push. This is a really awkward timing out of SKillous. He has no War Prism with this. He's not dedicated. He's expanding behind it. But he does successfully deny the base. An awkward timing, but a successful one. Adepts are being dealt with. SKillous does pull back home. Ling Rumbai catches out some Zealots. Nice catch with the Zealots, but the base is denied. But once again, I believe SKillous believes he's denying the fourth, but he's not. The fourth base is getting fully operational. The ninja base is paying off. I really like this expansion for Wayne. It's paying off so well for him, just because it's so unorthodox. As Wayne is building up, not Ling Hydra, Ling into Roaches. Lair is now done. Building up his Ling Bane Roach Ravager army. Retaking that center base once again. Creep is spreading. The creep here is solid as well. SKillous, he has not been able to really deny much creep at all. I mean, it doesn't help that he went into charge, not into blink. My apologies, I was so fixated on what Wayne was doing. But yeah, SKillous here to go into charge. Into charge of Archon. Delayed blink Stalker. The Archons are quite robust. Lings, oh, they run into the Zealots. We do need those Banelings. No baiting speed, not yet. Nice surround. Does catch a couple of Zealots. From here, pulls away. Archon's moving in. Roaches, they react in time. Spire is on the way for Wayne. I do like the Spire if Wayne had map control, but SKillous, he is threatening a push. Did I say threat? He's pushing. SKillous, he is pushing out. And Wayne, can he stop this? Ooh, no Observer. Risky. No Observer. Warp is into the main. Zealots do warp in. They deny the they deny the Spire. Spire is cancelled, and SKillous is getting out of hand. He's getting out of control. Does start down the Baneling nest. No Banelings. And Zealots now have nothing to fear. He should notice the creep. He should notice the rally. Yeah, he knows. He's like, something's wrong here. What's going on? Why are the units coming from bottom left and there? But he finds it. He finds the fourth. No. And this base is going to go down. There's no saving this. I say that Wayne coming in from behind catches an Immortal. Immortal goes down. The towers. No. The towers. He locks him out. There's no way out of this. Not like this. He does wall off. The base is going to fall. 13 drone kills. The towers, they're crazy. He can wall himself in completely, actually. Yeah, there we go. Knocks down the towers. He's locked in with the base. Now he can just recall. Yeah, he can just recall out. Recalls back home. That is disgusting. GG gets called. SKillous takes game number 1. Whew. GG. On the one hand, I love that Wayne took that base and he did get away with it. On the other hand, as you saw, that base is, I mean, you can shut it down so hard with those rocks. That is insane. To lock yourself in or to zone your opponent out by knocking down those towers. That is brutal. It is brutal. With that, GG, well played. We are now getting into game number 2, and we'll see if Wayne can recover and bounce back and force the ace match. Let's go. As game 2 is going to be on Incorporeal. Here we go. As we are getting into game number 2. Just catching up in the chat. Don't think I've ever seen All Things Protoss lose their minds more than seeing Maganath in the pool. It's amazing. I mean, I don't keep up with the Reddits, but I would think that they would enjoy it, actually, or maybe there's some inner memes going on there, to be fair. I think it's mostly Reddit. It's a Reddit. It's a Discord server. It's a community. It's a community of all things Protoss. There's also all things Zerg and all things Terran, of course. There's all things everything. There's one for each race. Mostly positive, but also bewildered. Yeah. I would imagine so. But here we go. We're getting into our next game. We're getting to our next... Wait, into game number 2. We're going to continue the series here in spawning in the top left-hand corner of Incorporeal. We have the yellow Zerg player. The yellow Zerg down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can recover. It is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as one. We have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is SKillous. We go. But it is the more organized of them. I think I would agree with that. I think it's all things Protoss first, then all things Zerg, then all things Terran. I only say that just because I know that a lot of like the pro Zerg players are also involved in the all things Zerg Discord, so they also go in there to like provide builds or to hang out and like play like customs and like share their ideas. I don't hear much about all things Terran. Like I don't hear much about their community, I should say. I know it exists, I know it's there, but know less about it. Another. Now that we are going to be settling in. Are going to be settling in here. So far, gate expand into Cybercore. Well, the only thing I know about all things Zerg is that sometimes Eric is there giving them builds. That's all I do. That's good enough for me. It's a good place. The Eric builds. Now SKillous does fan out. Does fan out, it does head across the map, but behind this, once again, Stargate Opener. Also, my apologies, welcome one and all to Incorporeal. Once again, I'm a little bit surprised by the vetoes of this series. Game 1 was on Maganatha, the largest map. Game 2 on Incorporeal, I think I would say this is the second largest map. I'd have to like get out a ruler and measure and compare Incorporeal with Tokamak, but I think Incorporeal has a longer rush distance. That has definitely comparable size, regardless one of the larger maps in the tournament map pool. It is a little bit more open, true, it is a little bit more open here, so we'll see how Wayne will approach this. We'll see how he will adjust. So Oracle does move out. Let's move out. Oh, MaxPax breaks in, gets one, gets two workers, and barely doesn't get the third. It takes a lot of hits, a lot of damage. At the same time, Wayne does counterattack, going for the third base, gets us around on the attempt, not bad, and now going for the third. Can he force a cancel? The Oracle is on the way. It's gonna be close. Can he get it? He can, he will force a cancel. Oracle comes too late, and Wayne comes out ahead. Does bleed out 3 drones. That is well worth forcing a cancel on the Nexus. So nice pick up here by Wayne. So asking, why is that probe not farming minerals? If you're referring to the kind of denied minerals that was occurring, the way that StarCraft works is that only 2 workers can actually mine a mineral patch at a time. If an opposing probe or if opposing worker comes in, you can actually start mining and cancel, and then start mining and cancel, and you can basically deny the patch from being mined from your opponent. So there's I guess some nice like denied mining that you can pull off. Of course, if your worker actually gathers minerals in their hands, then they can't mine anymore, so you can't disrupt the mining. So you have to like start, then cancel, then start again. That's what you're referring to. Meanwhile, we do get 2 drone kills. Nice move in here from SKillous. Gets 1, gets 2, gets up to 4 drones. Oh my god. Takes out 4 workers. Better follow-up. SKillous does pull away. The wall is almost open. Wayne doesn't find a way in. Gets 1, gets 2 probes. Takes down 2, but does find a way in nonetheless. Slips into the main. Slips into the mineral line. Boys are being pulled. More probes going to be going down. Catching up for 3 probes. Gets a full scout. This time a more standard follow-up. Remember, last game it was Oracle Opener into Charge into Archon. This time Oracle Opener into +1 and Blink Stalker. So something more standard here by SKillous. Something more active and more aggressive as well. Once a Blink kicks in, then SKillous can start moving out and trying to punish the bases and punish creep. Remember, last game SKillous, the creep was unimpeded, right? The creep was uncontested, and we saw some very nice creeps there from Wayne, but that was also partly because of the build of choice from SKillous. Here he's more active. Here he's going to be fighting for that creep. I should say fighting for map control. As Stalkers, they move out, they catch a queen. Oracles, they come into support. They're here to deny bases. They're here to deny creep. Tumors are going to be going down. Behind this, Wayne is going for the 4th base, and he has to make sure he holds on to it. Behind this, getting to Ring, Roach, Ravager, Hydra. Base is spotted. SKillous knows. SKillous is aware. Wayne getting up to 3 base saturation. Claiming his 4th base. The question becomes, is Wayne going to drone up the 4th, or does he commit? So far, Wayne makes a couple of workers. SKillous, again, he gets eyes on the 4th base. He wants it. He's setting up for it as well. Links are denied. 1 stasis is baited out. Not bad. There's still 1 stasis left. And Wayne is not droning. He's not droning up the 4th base. He's matching up nothing but Roach Hydra. Does collapse in. There's still that stasis. Up! Oh, does get baited. Nice move there from Wayne. Does bait at the stasis, does move in. And is trading out some roaches. Hydras, they still maintain themselves. Forcing back SKillous. And remember, +1 is almost done for Wayne. And remember, Wayne, he's all in. He's not droning. He's not droning. He's committing. It's all or nothing. 3-base all in here by Wayne. As he rallies everything across the map. And he is picking up Stalkers. And one way or another, either he breaks SKillous here or he dies trying. Oh. Breaks open the base. Oh, but he's running out of buffer. Again, we need those roaches and lings. There we go. Lings, they have arrived. A couple units, they peel off into the mineral line. The army being dealt with. Oh, SKillous, he does blink over. Does blink, does respond. Cybercore goes down. Nice pickup. But charge is already complete. And again, we're running out of support for the Hydras, running out of lings. The Hydras, they're so vulnerable on their own. As a couple of lings do get in. They get some probe kills. Not bad. But SKillous, he's holding on. SKillous, he's holding on. He takes out the roaches. Storm is done. And the Hydras, they have no support. They're on their own. They have to retreat. But remember, Wayne, he's all in. The longer this goes on, the better it is for SKillous. SKillous currently, he doesn't have any High Templar. So no storms, but he's setting up stasis traps. There's a shield battery here at the third base. Wayne, he's trying to rotate over, morphing in more Ravagers. You have Lings towards the left-hand side. Stasis goes off. Yeah, this is looking dire here for Wayne. As he has to keep going. Has to keep pushing. Now, thankfully, there's no more High Templar. I'm a little bit surprised. No, never mind. There's one. There's one High Templar. There's one Storm. He wants it. Oh my god, does snipe. Whew, just in time. High Templar goes down. Stasis goes off. Ling run by does get into the min right. 21 probe kills. They popped off. 21 workers go down. Economy is crippled. And Wayne, he may have just done it here. Now there are less warp ins. There's the Storm. Just the one. Cleans up the main army. But Lings, they have been wreaking havoc. At the same time across the map. Ooh, Zealots, they do likewise delay some of the reinforcements. They force Wayne back home. Yeah, Wayne is forced back home. Forced to defend. And on the one hand, yes, he did kill 21 workers, but SKillous, he still has a comparable economy, if not greater economy. Yeah, SKillous still in a better position. 21 probe kills, that was not good enough. And again, the soup does lie. Remember, this is inflated army supply from Wayne. It's mainly roaches. It was the same case earlier as well, where the Protoss does have a more efficient army, a more effective army, even if it's smaller. And Wayne, he is now trying to re-drone. Oof, oh god. Now, bearing in mind, Wayne, he hasn't been droning. This is a transfer. He transferred over as he's running out of mineral patches in the main. So he did a transfer even from the natural as well. Wayne moving out, so this is the second wave, but as you can see, this second wave, the second army is weaker. Now there are less Hydras. There are less Hydras, more Roach heavy instead. Oh god, and look at how many Storms there are. Storms, they pop off. Likewise, Oracle here into the fourth. Mining is being denied, and Wayne cannot touch this army. He cannot touch this. Not against 5 High Templar. With 3 Storms. Oh, unless we can catch them out. There's a chance. There we go, going for the dive. He gets all 5. I say that, gets 1. The other 2 morph into Archons, but now no more Storms. Nice moves there out of Wayne. Catches out the High Templar, but GG gets called. There's nothing else behind this. There's no sustain, there's no economy. And SKillous will take the series at 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Wayne committing to the all-in, and there was some nice moments there for Wayne when it came to Link slipping into mineral lines. He was able to get some damage, but that's all the damage he was really doing. He wasn't able to really cripple the main army of his opponent. Took me a long time to kill the Cybercore as well to deny Stalker warp-ins. We just saw how efficient SKillous was. On top of that, the map is working against him. We spoke about the size of Incorporeal, how long the rush distance is, how large the map is as well. It does mean that it takes longer to get across the map, longer to reinforce, longer to commit to an all-in like that. GG. GG, well played. SKillous, he will claim the series, he will advance on to the semifinals, and the question becomes, does he have an opponent waiting for him? Let's find out. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. Let us go. Ooh, as we do have actually SKillous being the first player to the semis. SKillous, he will take the series 2-0, and meanwhile MaxPax still mid-series against Master in a PvP, so we have a Protoss confirmed from the upper bracket. Scrolling down, we have a Solar. He's up against Shino. Astrea is up against Mute. Ooh, Mute did take down Percival 2-1. Impressive performance there by Mute. There's the update on the bracket from SKillous. And we now have our quarterfinals underway. Let's go. Now we have a choice to make. Either we can park ourselves here and try to catch Master, MaxPax, and SKillous and follow them into the semifinals for those PvPs. Otherwise, I mean, I do want to try to catch, and I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit here, but I would love to see the potential Solar versus Astrea, right? I would love to see that potential matchup. That does sound amazing. I know that Astrea is looking really good right now. We casted Astrea defeat Shin last week. Astrea did bring Shin, sorry, I think it was either last week or the week before that, but Astrea did bring down Shin. If he can bring down Shin, he can bring down Solar as well. They are comparable in skill, different stylistically, I will say that. Solar and Shin, they are very different stylistically, but I'm looking forward to that potential matchup. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. For now though, GG. For now, GG, well played. With that, SKillous does advance on, and we'll try to find our next series. As we're nearing the end of the broadcast, most likely we'll be able to cover one semifinals match, one semis, and then into the grand finals. As a reminder for this tournament, I know someone is always curious as to this, and it does depend. It is on a tournament by tournament basis. But some tournaments hold the semis so everyone can cast both semifinals one after the other. This is the case for our tournaments. This is the case for the Wardy TV Monday, but it is not the case for the PiGosaur Cups. For this tournament, they run at the same time. So they run at the same time. If things line up, we might be able to cover both of them, depending on how things line up. But otherwise, usually only one semis is covered. Here we go. As with that, SKillous, he is in the semifinals, and we have some downtime. We have some downtime here. We're going to be waiting for some of the lower matches to complete. I'm going to park myself on the NA server, and Astrea is currently 4 minutes into his game. It looks like Astrea is being casted by CranKy. El Hermoso, papi. Oh, let's go. Let's go. So if you want to tune into Astrea's match, then CranKy, as you covered. They are in game 2. No, Mute is up? Mute is up 1-0. No shot. Yo, Mute with the upsets here. He took down Percival earlier, and Mute, can he bring down Astrea? It's possible. It is possible here. We need to clone Light so we can watch both semis. True, true. But I'll give you a link in the chat. Shout out to CranKy, El Hermoso. Fun fact, CranKy, he is now a new CranKy Duckling, by the way. He is one of us. He's one of los patos, one of los patos. But yes, Mute is up 1-0. Oh, and he might just take the series. He might just 2-0. No shot. Mute, he takes down the mineral line, takes down 13 probes, 17 workers. He cripples Astrea. No, he's doing it. Mute, he's doing it, papi. God. Oh my god. Mute, he's crazy. Astrea, he's going into DTs. He's going into Dark Templar. No shot. Is Astrea out? It's close. It's still quite close, but Astrea's all in. Astrea's all in. He's all in, papi.
Focus, pocos podemos alcanzar. Así es que eso sería maravilloso para mí de seguir así.
But yes, I did leave a link in the chat. Meanwhile, it looks like MaxPax versus SKillous is about to begin in the upper semis. But we're gonna have some downtime. We're gonna have some downtime. We're gonna tune into some Enki action, and we'll see what happens. Are we gonna catch any Astrea games? Maybe not. If Mute wins this series, we won't be able to cast any Astrea. Oh no. Wouldn't be the first crazy Mute run, but definitely the biggest. I think I would say, remember Mute, didn't he beat Classic? Yeah, Mute, he beat Classic during KSL. It was during Korean StarCraft League, like maybe a month or 2 months ago. Mute, he did defeat Classic in a Korean tournament. that did happen. He's crazy, he's crazy. But yeah, so now we're going to be going on a break. When we come back, we'll have our next series. We'll have something. We'll see if it's going to be Astrea or Mute. One of the two. See you soon. See you soon after the break. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We had a crazy turn of events, by the way. Crazy turn of events here as we had a bit of downtime. We just wrapped up with SKillous versus Wayne. We were waiting to catch up on Astrea versus Mute, and we had an insane upset. Before we get into that, though, a big shout out in the chat to Ryan Victor's God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. And welcome one and all to the PiGosaur Cup number 31. This is a weekly open tournament, and players come from all around the world, from the Americas, from Latino America, from Korea, from Europa as well. They all come together to face off here in this tournament. We are now in the semi-finals. We have SKillous versus MaxPax. SKillous versus MaxPax. We have a PvP upper semifinals, and we have a PvZ lower semis. Solar, he worked his way through the tournament. He is waiting here. He was waiting for his next opponent, and it is a Protoss, but not the one we expected. There was a crazy upset. Shout out to Enki El Hermoso. He was casting in Spanish. He was covering Astrea versus Mute. He was covering that series, and Mute took Astrea down 2-0 in a crazy upset. I know that Mute has been improving. I know that Mute has taken down some big names like Classic in the past, but Mute to bring down Astrea 2-0 is a very impressive feat considering the form of Astrea. Astrea, he is back. Astrea is in form. He's looking good, looking strong, looking powerful, but Mute, he pulled it off. Crazy upset. GG. Papi God. GG. So Mute, he was able to pull off that upset. He did bring down Astrea, and now we have our lower semis. We have Mute versus Solar coming up next in the next round. Let's go. Let us go. Crazy turn of events here. So we still have a ZVP, but a very different kind of ZVP, and we'll see how Mute can compare to Solar. Again, I would have favored, I would have given like almost a 50-50 chance between Solar and Astrea. Astrea is a very strong player in his own right. It was like 1 or 2 weeks ago where Astrea did defeat Shin. If you can defeat Shin, I want to say that Solar is a comparable player, but now instead we have Mute stepping into the ring, and we'll see how Mute compares. Mute, his PvZ is very different to his PvP. It does feel a little bit, I want to say that historically we've seen relatively standard, more defensive, more macro play out of Mute in this matchup, working towards Sky Toss if he can get away with it. We'll see if that trend continues though. We'll see if that does continue. As for now, our players are getting ready. We're jumping in. Let's go, Bobby, let's go. God. I was messaging Mute, and Mute, he was saying like he was saying like thank you. I don't know how, but I'm happy. It's like este Mute. He's doing well for himself. He's been improving a lot, and we'll see if he can keep going. You know, again, to bring down Astrea is already a crazy result, and I know he's very satisfied with his performance so far in the tournament. He didn't just beat Astrea, he beat Percival earlier as well. But can he go even further? Can he take down Solar? I want to believe he can. Is it likely to happen? Solar's still the favorite player, of course, he's still favored, but I can definitely see Mute taking some maps, maybe even a series. Let's go. Yeah. I'm hanging the guy attacks. Let's go. As our players, they did need a moment. They needed a moment to set up, but here we go. We are ready. We are jumping into our fresh best of 3. As a reminder, we have MaxPax and SKillous in the upper semis, so we already have 1 Protoss confirmed for the finals. We've yet to determine, though, whether it's going to be a PvZ or a PvP finals. Let's go. So you're jumping into game number 1. It's going to be on Ultra Love. Yo, shout to Shino, let's go. Sorry, we glossed over that. True. Shout to Shino in the chat. Did take a map off of Solar. Papi, you're crazy. GG. Really well done, Shino. Played well, Papi, played well. I'm sorry we missed those games. We were in the upper half of the bracket at the time, but really happy to see. Sorry I glossed over that, but GG. As we're getting into our next series, getting into our next matchup, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Peruvian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Mute. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It's Gamba time. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Will it go the way of the Zerg? Will it go the way of the Protoss? Will it go the way of the Korean or the Peruvian? Best of luck. Best of luck in the chats with your Gamba. Coming into this, of course, Solar is the favorite player, but Mute has been on fire here tonight. We'll see if that continues coming into the semis. Let's go. As for now, we do have our initial openers. Again, we don't really expect Mute to be too cheeky or too cheesy in this matchup. Historically, I will re-emphasize that Mute, he is typically a player that plays towards a longer game state. I'm referring to standard opener, Stargate, Oracle into a third base, into plus something Stalkers, into potentially earlier Fleet Beacon, into earlier Sky Toss. But we'll see if that has changed over time. Again, I haven't really covered much of Mute's PvZ in quite a number of months. And he has been improving. I think I say a couple of months. If I recall correctly, last time I casted Mute was against Cham. We casted Mute in the HSL, the Hispanic StarCraft League. He went up against Cham in the third place match, which Cham did take in the end. But Cham was very aggressive. Like Cham, he had a very aggressive approach to ZVP, as you can imagine, and Mute had a harder time keeping up. Speaking of aggression, welcome to Ultra Love. Ultra Love is one of the smaller maps in the map pool. Ultra Love has an interesting dynamic where if you can get yourself up to 4 bases, you can defend and turtle. You can turtle up quite well on Ultra Love if you can get up to a 4 base setup. But earlier on, before that, we have seen a lot of successful all-ins. A lot of 2 base play, 3 base play, German taxis, Queen Ling walks across the map, meanwhile Queen drop a lot across the map as well. We've seen a lot of aggression, especially from Solar. If you remember, it was maybe in March, I think it was March of this year, Solar, he was popping off, taking down everyone. He had like his redemption arc, where Solar, he took down Hero, he took down MaxPax that week as well. He took down all the big Protoss names. How? Pure all-ins. Unironically, purely 2 and 3 base all-ins every single game, and hey, it worked. He beat MaxPax, he beat Hero, he beat the best Protoss players in the world that week. It was insane just how solid Solar was, or how well he was performing, and that was again during his like return and his rise to prominence after just after the off-season, of course, the introduction of EWC. Now, not saying he does that all the time, but he's well versed, he's willing to mix it in. And during that period, he was doing nothing but all-ins, fun fact, and find a little success with it. But nowadays, he does kind of mix it up. But I would not be surprised if he commits here on Ultra Love. I would not be surprised. As Solar, he does move out. Oh, sorry, Mute moves out. He does have his initial Oracle, dips into the natural, gets 1, but takes a lot of hits. Ooh, takes a lot of damage. As Solar was ready. Behind this third base on the way, Solar moves in to delay the third. The Oracle has arrived, and the Oracle should keep the third base safe. Yeah, Lings are deflected. With that, the Oracles, they rotate. We have the first Oracle turning back at home. The second Oracle moves out. Third Oracle's on the way. Third base is being taken, and now we have the follow-up at Twilight Council into, I would imagine, Forge. Yep, they're going to Forge. Into +1 Blink Stalkers. Standard play out of Mute. Oh, as once again he overextends. Oracle does overextend, does not get a drone this time. So far, Solar, he is defending very well back at home. Protecting those mineral lines. That's going to be an earlier Roach Warren. That is a 4:30 Roach Warren timing. Solar being very safe. The best Protoss of the Americas. True, true. He's crazy, he's crazy. As Lings, they collapse on the army. He's gonna be forced back. I would say, to give credit where credit is due, I would say Mute's second best Protoss player in the Americas. Who's the first? Trigger, Pappy. Don't forget about Trigger. I think a lot of people forget because he's been in Korea for so long, but that's the Trigger. When I should emphasize, he's the best Protoss in the Americas when he's not playing Osu. When he God damn it, Trigger. Every time I see him streaming, I'm like, oh, Trigger, he's streaming, and then I check, he's like, oh, he's playing Osu. God damn it. Every time. Osu. He reminds me of Starduck in a lot of ways. Shaking my head. So now we are going to be turtling up. We do have our Hydrogen on the way here from Solar. Getting into his Hydras. Getting into his 4th base as well. Likewise back at home. Interesting. So when it comes to this follow-up, it is very common, very trendy nowadays to go into Storm, to go into High Templar, to go into Storm as a follow-up, especially with the change to the energy overcharge. We can see that Mute is playing a little bit old school, going into Colossus instead. When I say old school, I mean like 6 months ago, like pre the previous patch, or in the last patch. So seeing the Colossus follow-up is a little bit less common nowadays. It still works, just less common. As Mute does poke in, shaving off those Lings, applying a lot of pressure, trying to get on top of the Hydras, but not quite able to. Should also emphasize that Solar is going into +1 range and is taking up into Lurkers. So fast infestation bit into Hive into Lurker tech. So Solar rushing into Lurkers. We'll see if he can get away with it. As he is vulnerable. Stace is going to get baited out. Oh, not quite. Mute is pushing in. Yo, if you knock down the tower on Stasis units, do they just die? Is that like a combination we could like potentially see? It's like a Stasis pops off and then bam, you knock down the tower? That'd be crazy. Hi. That'd be insane. Solar is getting caught out. Yo, we gotta test it. Let's go. Test it out, papi. So now Mute does pull away. Colossal production has begun. Nice contamination here on the Robo. Very nice. We'll delay the Colossus. Mute, what's important here is that Mute, it looks like a 3-base all-in. Yeah, he's going for a 3-base all-in. He's on how many? He's on 8 gateways. His 4th base is non-existent. He could expand right now. He could take a 4th. He should have a 4th, but he doesn't. So Mute, he's committing here into a 3-base all-in instead. Thinking about expanding. Does take a 4th. This is a late 4th base from Mute. Ay. He needs to deal critical damage here and now. Lings, they collapse in. Colossus has arrived. And the Lunkers are here. It's too late. Yeah, again, the timing here of this and the strength of this push is before Lurkers, but Lunkers, they have arrived. And how do you push into this? Without Skytolls, without Immortals. Without Archons, you cannot break the siege line. And Mute is going to be forced into a longer game state. Temple Archives now on the way. Working towards Storm, but Mute, he has missed his timing. The Lunkers, they hold the line. They hold the line. Oh god. As Muty tries to push up the ramp. Again, he won't be able to. Behind this prism towards the main base. We have more Lurkers building up. And Solar, he's looking solid. Now, Mute, he could try to rotate and now position Solar and try to strike another expansion. But alas, Solar is keeping up. Viper has arrived, comes in with the yoink, abducts in the Colossus. And there's no backbone to the army, not anymore. We have the fleet beacon on the way, but again, this is a late fleet beacon, late 4th base. Everything is late here for Mute because he was 3-base all in. And a Solar, he is snowballing out of control. He is overwhelming. Baits out the stasis. From here, moving in. The Lunkers are set. The natural has been broken. We do see here that Mute, he's out of position, going for the base trade. It's the only chance. The best chance if Mute is to go for the base trade. Even then, it's not a high chance of working, but he's going to do something. And Lunkers, they're coming back home. They turn back around. Yeah, Solar now going for the 3rd. Mute are trying to push up into the main. He does split off. Catching out some Hydras, Lee's trying to, but another Colossus goes down. And Solar, he will defend. He will defend. He will clean up this army back at home. We have Zelts in the main. We have Zelts in every single base, actually. Not bad. Drones are falling. But there's no answer to the main army, is the problem here. As Lunkers, they're leapfrogging in. There's that lunge from the Hydras. And Mute, he did a lot of damage. He killed 51 drones, but GG gets called because drone kills is all he can do, and Solar will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Solar will take a lead. Again, Mute, he was being hyper aggressive, hyper assertive, and he was trading well with his Stalkers, but as we saw, his goal there was to try to hit his timing with Colossus to break his opponent. Little did he know that Solar was taking up into Lurkers. So Mute, he was on a timer. He was on a timer. He had to kill, he had to end the game before Lurkers, and he failed to do so once the Lurkers arrived. That was GG. That was GG then and there. The aggression did subside, and Solar held. With that, we're getting into game number 2, and we'll see how Mute will adjust. We'll see how he will react, as game 2 is going to be on Persephone. Oh boy. Another one of these more aggressive maps, likewise very direct rush distance by ground, or attack path by ground, short rush distance by air. We'll see how Mute will approach Solar. Let's go. Let us go. It's catching up. Dave Testa, second best Protoss. Oh no. Ay, ay, ay. As I do hope that someone is casting the upper semis. I know that there's a lot of hype right now around Mute and Solar. I think maybe Rocklets. Let's see. Because I think he was covering... Yeah. Because Rocklets was covering Master. Yo, today was a good day for Brazilian StarCraft. But it does look like actually the upper semis has concluded. Ooh, went all the way to the ace match, by the way. Went all the way to the ace match. And MaxPax takes down SKillous 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. Did go all the way to game 3, did go back and forth between MaxPax and SKillous, but MaxPax, he is going to be our first finalist, waiting for the winner of this series. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Peruvian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Mute. Here we go. And again, Mute, he was being very aggressive, very assertive last game. I mean, when we spoke about the defenses from Solar, a big part of that as well, the contamination, true. The contamination did delay the Colossus timing, did delay Mute. That was also a big part of the defense. Made it that much easier for Solar to hold on and to survive. And I don't expect Mute to go for another 3-base all-in. I don't expect another 3-base all-in, not this time. I would assume that he will take a different approach instead, and maybe even go into a charge follow-up. We could see earlier Glaive Adepts, but we could see something more standard, something more macro. We'll keep an eye on Mute. So now, Hatch Gas Pool, saying that opening out of Solar. Mute does confirm this, and Mute, he will disrupt the economy. Will disrupt. Okay, just trying to be as annoying as possible. Get out of here. And so far, everything's looking as it should be. Once Cybercore is done, we can pick our tech of choice. We're leaning towards Stargate play, but technically, Mute could go for a Twilight Council, for example. It could go into like early Glaives or like a DT-based opener. Those kind of styles are a lot more rare nowadays, and based on the pylon, yeah, it's going to be a Stargate. So once again, Stargate open out of Mute. From here, we're expecting oracles, but we could see Mute open up Void Ray instead. Void Ray would be designed to hide the tech, to hide the main base, and to hunt down overlords to keep the Zerg player in the dark. Otherwise, we could just open Oracle, get across the map, get some economic damage, and build up towards a third. Eyes are on Mute. Meanwhile, Solar just chilling, just droning, just saturating, building up its economy. Nothing pressuring him yet. It does pull out of gas, so no early tech. Solar, he isn't really one to spice things up early on in the game. I mentioned earlier that he has been one to go for his own 2 and 3 base all-ins. That is true, but it's a little bit too early for that. But now we're just saturating. Meanwhile, we have our unit of choice. It's going to be the Oracle opener out of Mutes, going for the Oracle, getting across the map. With this, he can harass, he can scout, he can delay, and expand. He can do it all. It's crazy. Likewise, even hunting down the Overlord. Now, because Mute did open up Adept into Stalker, it does mean that there's no Adept Harass. There's no Adept Harass here, so typically we'd be seeing like maybe some trades going on, drones going down, a disruption of the third base timing. If you remember, SKillous, he did a great job at delaying Wayne and delaying his third base and killing drones early on, but here you can see that Mute is going for a more defensive style. Because of the Stalker, there are less Adepts. Because there are less Adepts, there's no Harass. So for Solar, he can freely drone up. This is a very comfortable start here for the Zerg player. Whereas typically they'd be, you know, dancing with the Adepts and pulling workers away and trying to keep up. It's a very different dynamic compared to what we saw previously in the previous PvZ. Meanwhile, Twilight Council's on the way. I do not see a Forge, and this is an early Twilight Council. Are we going into Glaive Adepts? Speaking of, Adepts are warping in. So this does feel like Glaive Adepts here from Mute. We'll keep an eye on him. Likewise, Lings, they pull away. We got plus on melee in production. So this is more ideal for Mute, as we do get a safety Roach Warren. And back at home, as we mentioned, did scream Glaive Adepts, and there it is. Glaive Adepts are on the way. The tell for this, no Forge, and also just the timing of the Twilight Council was just very early. So Glaive Adepts here from Mute. And if Solar was skipping Roaches, then he could pop off, but a Roach Warren is halfway done. Now halfway done for Solar, he's playing safe. Lings are building up, and Solar, he does have the tools to defend. Now, bearing in mind what Mute is doing is not all-in. This should be Glaive Adepts into a Blink Stalker follow-up. There's going to be a lot of Adepts, that is true, but there's no Robo, there's no Warp Prism, there's no way to reinforce. Oh no, the shield battery's not done, and where are the Adepts, by the way? There's only one in position. And Lings, they deny the shield battery, they're going to surround on the pylon. Brutal losses here for Mute, he will lose the pylon and lose probes. This should not have happened. Oracles, they were out of position. Likewise, only one Adept as well. And with that, Mute, he does stumble. But here we go. Here comes the main army. Here come the mass Adepts. How many? 14. 14 Glaive Adepts are moving out. Solar, he scouts this. He knows. Back at home, Roaches are amassing. Roaches are building up. Oh, we have Overlord speed on the way. We have Roach speed as well. Solar, he's getting ready to not just defend, but to counterattack after the defense. He's getting ready for that punish. Lings, they surround 2 Adepts already. Nice catch. Meanwhile, he gets 1, 2 Roach kills. Clutch Transfuse. And keeps Roach alive. Adepts, they shade into the natural. Lings are waiting. And Adepts, they're being shut down. They're being shut down. Roaches are now waddling in. And these Adepts, they don't do any economic damage. Ay, ay, ay. They get 2 drones. That's not good enough. We have more Adepts moving in towards the right-hand side into the third base mineral line. They get a handful of drone kills. This is better, but still not ideal. Because what's terrifying right now, the fact that Overlord speed is done and Roach speed is almost complete. What's terrifying is Solar's counterattack. And there it is, the German Taxi. The German Taxi, the Solar, he was already getting set up for this as the all-in was happening, or as the push was coming. It's getting ready for the drop play. As Lings are moving out, Roach is moving out as well. Drop Lord does morph in. And this is going to be a tough hold for Mute. Again, just such a quick response there from Solar. Here we go, Drop Lords are on the way. regular overlords as well. We're going for a double lane drop into the main. So lane drop into the main, queen drop towards the third base, Roach Ravager coming in as well. Ravagers are done. And what is it to defend? We have a couple of Blink Stalkers with +1, no Immortals. Ooh, no Immortals. I mean, of course, no Robo. Lings, they drop in. They unload into the main. And Solar comes in for the surround. Oracles, they try to hold their own, but the Queens, they do drop off. Where's the creep? Where's the transfuse? Oh, not quite there. Despite that, the Queens, they do still hold their own. There, they shut down the Oracle. There we go. Now they can transfuse. And Solar, he has broken the third base. Likewise, Lynx are wreaking havoc in the main. GG gets called. Mute gets pulled apart. And Solar will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Solar, he will claim the series. He will advance on. My condolences to Mute. It was a rough series here. Game 1, he was trying to go for his own all-in, but he got shut down early on. He got delayed. Game 2, we had Mute taking a different approach. He did open up with Glaive Adepts as a follow-up, opening up Standard, but we saw that Solar, he completely shut down the Adepts. Not just that, but as the Adepts were coming across the map, Solar, he started Roach Speed and Overlord Speed. He was ready for the counterattack. He was setting up for the future counterattack instead, and with that, he was able to end the game. GG. GG, well played. Solid performance there by Solar. And even though Mute goes down, Mute did an amazing job making it this far. He does get a payout for getting into top 4, and Mute did take down Percival and Astrea to make it to the semifinals. I would go as far as to say that Mute's weakest matchup is PvZ. That is his weakest matchup, is a matchup he has to work on the most, but he has been able to excel everywhere else, and yeah, with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. Congratulations here to Solar, and a shout out to Mute for his performance this tournament. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are now getting ready here for our next series. We're getting ready for the grand final. It's going to be a best of 5 between Solar and MaxPax. Another PvZ. We have avoided the mirror matchup finals. Let's go. There's no PvP finals. Not this time. Whew, for the first time in a long time. We're going to avoid that for the time being, and we'll see how well our players can perform. Of course, MaxPax, he is one of the best Protoss players in the world. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with, and I would say he's favored coming into this. Now, we have seen Solar defeat MaxPax in the past, but again, that's more of the exception to the norm, the exception to the rule. MaxPax is still the heavy favorite. I'm hoping that Solar can make a series out of this, and I'm hoping that Solar can bring it to MaxPax. Let's go. Let us go. We have seen Solar find success when it comes to all-ins in the past, but now we have a new map pool, right? We have a new map pool, and there are certain maps that are more open than others, or others that are more defensive, more turtly. So I'm curious what the videos are going to be and what maps we land on. For now, we're going to be going on a very short break, and when we come back, we'll have the final series of the broadcast. See you soon. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals, los grand finales of the PiGosaur Cup number 31. Your weekly dose of PiGosaur action. Again, we have our weekly open tournaments, and it has been a grueling event so far. We've had some crazy games, some cannon rushes, some standard play, some upsets as well, and we have reached our top two, our Zerg and our Protoss. And here we go. We're here to crown our champion. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have our Danish Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Coming into this, I would say and lean towards MaxPax as the favored player, of course, but Solar has taken maps and has taken series off of MaxPax in the past, and he can do it again. I want to believe that he is a worthy challenger for MaxPax, and we'll see if he can bring him down. Let's go. Let us go. Now, again, the map pool is still relatively new, so I haven't seen too much of Solar versus MaxPax on the new map, so I'm excited to see how Solar does fare. As welcome one and all to Maganatha. Maganatha is the largest map in the new tournament map pool, but as a reminder, yes, it is a large map, but it is not as turtly, it is not as defensive as Neon Violet Square, King's Cove, or Abyssal Reef. The bases are more open, they're more exposed, they're more isolated as well. So a Protoss player turtling and defending on a 4 and 5 base setup is going to be more difficult to do so here as it was in the previous map pool. So that does allow a player to be more aggressive, more assertive, and try to apply pressure and to break a defending player. It is a little bit easier to pull that off. Again, thankfully, that was the biggest controversial issue with the previous map pool, is that the older maps, the ones that I just mentioned, they were large and they were defensive. Currently, that is no longer the case when it comes to modern map making and modern kind of tendencies and kind of like rules or like guidelines, I should say, when it comes to making maps. Currently, if you have a large map, it should be open. It should be open. It should be more difficult to turtle. If you have a small map, that's where you can be more defensive, and that's where you can have more choke points and a greater defender's advantage. So you have that kind of give and take, that kind of yin and yang. Where on a smaller map, the rush distance by ground is shorter, so you can have more defensive features. On a larger map, rush distance is longer, so now it's more open to compensate. That's usually how things go. Usually. Not always the case. For now though, Void Ray Opener. Okay, Void Ray Opener here from MaxPax is going to be looking to hunt down these overlords. Now, this could be a Void Ray to hide tech, to go into Glaive Adepts, to go into a fast fleet beacon, a Mothership Rush, Sky Toss, or this could be a Void Ray into an Oracle, into a standard game. That's the scary thing here. It could be either one. For now, Oracle's on the way. MaxPax is expanding. So far, it looks like a standard opener, but MaxPax is looking for those overlords. He is searching. As the MaxPax does claim his third, Link Scout will confirm this. Back at home, Solar is likewise going to be saturating, building up his own economy. The Void Ray is now revealed, and the Void Ray will find one overlord. As it barely does go down. Ooh, does overextend for a moment. Takes some extra hits. Behind this, we do have a second overlord that should be hunted down. You can see that MaxPax is searching for another overlord. Again, this overlord here is already dead. This overlord is already dead. So MaxPax is looking for any more damage. Doesn't find any. Takes some whole damage instead. And behind this, Twilight Council. Faster Twilight Council's on the way. This is a Twilight Council around the same timing here as the third base, Gateway Explosion. This looks like Glaive Adepts. It looks like Glaives. If we were casting Hero, I would say Blink. Blink is still a viable option, but I'm leaning more towards Glaives since it is MaxPax. So what's it going to be? Oh, Forge. Blink. Forge on the way. You typically don't get a Forge alongside Glaive, so Blink is the answer here. Now, Blink is going to be researched earlier before the Forge, and because of that, this is going to be an earlier Blink timing. This does keep MaxPax safe. If Solo went for a 2-way Sol-In, a 3-way Sol-In, a German Taxi, Blink would be done in time to defend. On top of that, because Blink is going to be earlier, MaxPax, he can be active earlier as well. MaxPax, he can be active. Behind this, a Solo is droning, saturating Evo chambers on the way. This tells us that Solo most likely, plus on melee, most likely going into Hydra tech, as there is no Roach Warren. As the Oracle and the Void Ray, they gain map control, they hunt down they take over the towers. There it is, a Hygien's on the way. That is not melee, that is +1 range. So this could be one of two things. Either Solar is going to cut workers at 3-base saturation and go for a 3-base Ling Hydra all-in, emphasis on the Hydras, or this is the beginning of taking up into Lurkers. And he'll get a 4th base, he'll half drone the 4th, get an Infestation Pit, get a Lurker Den, get a Hive, and take into Lurkers and get into a +1 timing. Sorry, +2 timing, I should say. Before then, we do have MaxPax poking in. Void Ray does hit the 3rd. Stalkers, they go for the 4th. And Solo trying to hold on here. Stasis Trap is, gonna get triggered. Yeah, Brutal Stasis. Solo still collapsing in. He does get 1 Stalker. He gets 1. Hydra production has begun. So far, Solo, he is holding on. He does maintain the creep. Whew, he does survive. That was close. Meanwhile, we spoke about taking. Yep, there it is. Lurkers. So Infestation Pit, this is so we can take up into Hive, into Lurkers. This does mean that Solar, he will drone up his 4th, and there it is, drones are on the way. So Solar is building up towards a longer game, bleeds out a Queen. But Solar, he's embracing a 4-base setup. And again, he can get into +2 real fast and real quick for those Lurkers. Now Stalkers, they keep applying pressure. Solar did just drone, and he also goes for a Ling counterattack, so the Lings are not home to defend. Oh, Solar, the Hydras are vulnerable. And that was already how many? That was already... Okay, so far, no Hydras have gone down, thankfully. Lings, they do threaten the natural. Gets 1 Hydra. Gets 1 so far. Gets 2. Takes down 2 Hydras. Lings, they turn back around. Solar, he does reinforce with those Lings. And with that, he does force MaxPax back. And remember, Solar, he has no intention of pushing. Behind this, Hive. Hive is on the way, Lurker Den is on the way. +2 should be commencing soon, and he's getting up to full 4-base saturation. Again, that was the plan from the beginning, as soon as we saw +1 range. The plan was to turtle up and to build up into Lurkers. We should be commencing +2 soon, and likewise in that 5th base. There we go, 5th base is on the way. That's going to be for Larva. Need that 5th expansion. Solar is building up. Meanwhile, Storm is now done for MaxPax, and the goal for MaxPax, the purpose, the plan here is to break Solar before Lurker tech. As Lurkers just now morphing in, and Lurkers are exposed. Oh yeah, they're going to be denied. MaxPax, he hits just in time, and Solar, he's not ready for this. The Lurkers forced 1 more. Lings are going down. There's still plenty of Storms. Solar trying to hold on, now morphing in those Lurkers. But again, this is late. The Lurkers are late, as they had to be cancelled. More Storms zoning back the Hydras. There's going to be 1 Storm left. MaxPax, he's running out of Storms. At the same time, massive warp in. Bust into the natural. Drones are going down. This is critical damage, getting up to 20 drone kills. All it takes is a couple of seconds, and a mineral line will crumble. The Lurker has arrived, but only 1 Lurker. That's going to go down. Observers in position, and GG gets called. Solar is broken, and MaxPax takes game number 1. Whew, GG. MaxPax does take the game. Again, the win condition there, the goal for Solar was to survive, was to defend until he got into Lurkers. And he almost got there, but unfortunately Lurkers were morphing at the 4th base, and that happened to coincide with MaxPax moving in. Imagine if those Lurkers were able to finish, then Solar holds, and different game. The game continues. The game would have continued if he had finished up those Lurkers. Unfortunately, he couldn't because of the Storms. He was forced to cancel. That was game. Like, as soon as you saw that cancel, that was game then and there. Solar could not defend against the High Templar army, not without Lurkers, and he couldn't morph them in. Could not morph them in. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 2. And we'll see if Solar can bounce back or if MaxPax can extend his lead. As we're getting into Game 2, Game 2 is going to be on Pylon. Ooh, Pylon, a much smaller map. A much smaller map in the map pool, much more aggressive map as well. Now, I would imagine the turns are going to table. Game 1, on the larger map, Solar, his goal was to tech up into 4 bases, into a 5th base, into Lurker Tech, into Hive Tech. Here, on Pylon, we expect a more aggressive, lower tech style out of Solar instead. We're expecting Roach Ravager, we're expecting Ling Hydra, we're not expecting to see Solar rush into Lurkers, not here, not the same way. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we have the Danish Protoss player, we have the blue Protoss representing Psystorm Gaming, leading the series 1-0, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player himself, Red Zerg, representing Team Falcons from the land of South Korea. It is Solar. We go. As Solar does open 15 hatch, will get his base on time without being disturbed, without being blocked. And we'll see where Solar takes us from here. And again, there are different forms of 2 and 3 base aggression that we can see. We might see Ling Hydra, we might see Roach Ravager, we might see Ling Queen. See what Solar does go for. Technically, we could see an attempted mirrored build that we saw last game, but again, I doubt we'll see that 2 games in a row. If we were spawning into Tokamak, then sure. But here on Pylon, no shot. As we have our initial opener. We have our initial setup. See MaxPax being as annoying as possible, does disrupt the mining, does disrupt the economy. Behind the space of the Pylon placement looks like a Stargate opener out of MaxPax. So Stargate opener once again. Now last game MaxPax did open up Void Ray. We could see, I do like the, I've said this before, I do like the idea if you open up Void Ray in one game, in a series I do like the idea of continuing that trend and this time mixing up the follow-up for those mind games. So we'll see if MaxPax once again does open Void Ray. Solar does expand. Hello Mega Wack in the chat. Hello, hello. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenido. Bienvenido. Stargate has been thrown down, and we'll soon get into our first unit of choice. Based on the rally, it looks like an Oracle, but oh no, there it is. Void Ray 2 games in a row. I like it. always fun of it, just because again, this like the mind games are real. Like the inception into the Zerg opponents. Like, is it the same build? Is it going to be Glaives this time? Is it going to be Skytoss this time? Anything is possible. As Solar is going to be in the dark. Now, it does mean that you are able to have less map control and less harassment potential in the mineral lines, that is true, but at this level of play, your Oracle shouldn't be getting much damage anyway. If you're up against players like Solar, like Serral, Raynor, Shin, Oracle harassment should not get more than like 2 drone kills, like 2-3 drones at most. So because of that, you're foregoing some of that damage, which shouldn't be happening anyway, for a Void Ray. As the Oracle does, the Overlord does confirm the Oracle's on the way. Once again, very fast. Twilight Council. Now, last game, this led into a delayed Forge into Blink. Once again, though, I have to emphasize that this does look like Glaive Adepts. Until we see a Forge, it's gonna be Glaives. And Glaives is very much so viable at this level of play. I mean, hey, it wasn't too long ago that we saw Serral die to Glaives multiple times against Hero. I mean, Hero is a different kind of player, and he's a little more aggressive, and he's known for his controllers and micro. But I want to say that MaxPax can replicate that success. Show us the glaives. There it is. Glaive Adepts are on the way. Ooh, +1 melee. Solar is going for a Ling Heavy style. Thankfully, he does throw down the Roach Warren, does not skip it. Remember, last game, Solar did skip Roaches. This time, he will not. 3 drones equals the Oracle. Yeah, for sure, for sure. 3 drones is what you're looking for. But here, MaxPax, he just avoids. With a said Void Ray. And with this, he's going to be building up and banking up Adepts back at home and ready to pull the trigger. It's getting ready. 4th base on the way. MaxPax setting up defensively here. Ooh, does catch at the Lings, but we do scout. Solo knows. Solo, he's now aware of what's going on. Back at home, we have the Roach Warren done. Roach production has begun. Void Ray in position to delay the 4th. And as they make their way across the map, what do we have to defend? We have 25 Lings. And with the help of the Roaches, that should be enough here. As MaxPax, he does commit. 4th base gets denied. That was a cancel. Adepts take it into the mineral lines. Lings are going down, but the Roaches should defend. I say that. MaxPax, he's not done. Takes down the Queen. The Queen goes down. Adepts take shade into the main. They catch out more drones. 8, 9 drones going to be going down. This is getting a bit out of hand. Getting up to almost 10. Shading once again. A bit of a misclick here on the spawning pool. Wasted DPS. It still shades in. Gets 1 more drone. And unlike the previous game, unlike the previous time we saw this in Mute series, there's no Overlord speed. There's no Overlord speed. There is Roach speed on the way, so Solar, he can get ready for a Roach counterattack. But MaxPax, he has done well when it comes to his damage. Back at home, he's working towards Blink Stalkers. Blink is almost done, +1. Templar Archives on the way for the High Templar, for the Archons. Solar, let's go. He's going to try to break MaxPax here and now. Now, the rush distance by ground on Pylon is, again, as you mentioned, a lot more direct, so the Queens are just walking in. Who needs Dropper Lords when you can just walk across the map? And now it's on MaxPax to survive the counterattack. As MaxPax has a booming economy, Solar's all in. He's all in. So far, Blink is not yet done. Yeah, without Blink, Stalkers are going down. Brutal pickoffs. Vials on the shield battery. There's going to be a tough hold here for MaxPax. 10 more seconds before Blink finishes, and before Blink is done, Solar, I think he's done it. He has done it. Yeah, he has broken the 3rd base, takes out the Void Ray, takes out the Stalkers, and he will punish, he will cripple this expansion. Again, thankfully, MaxPax did this on Pylon. GG gets called. Solar ties up the series 1-1. GG. We have a back and forth. Again, as you saw here on Pylon, the rush distance by ground is so short, so that counterattack didn't take long at all to get across the map. We saw that MaxPax, he was 10 seconds away from Blink. If Blink was done, I think MaxPax probably holds there. He probably does hold, but alas, those 10 seconds, they're everything here in StarCraft, and Solar did punish, did break him. GG. GG, well played, Solar. He was able to break him in the end, and with that, Solar ties things up. Yeah, we have a series. Let's go. We do have a series here. Again, the drone damage was brutal, but Solar, he will set up for it. And when I say set up, he did have Roach speed on the way, so he will set up for the counterattack thereafter. Was able to break through. And now we are getting into one of the larger maps, one of the more defensive maps. Up next, Tokamak. Let's go. Now, Tokamak, when I say larger, more defensive, unlike the 2 maps that we just featured, unlike Maganatha, unlike Pylon, there is no attack path going into the natural, not directly. On those other maps we just featured, you have an attack path into the 3rd, into the 4th, and into the natural. Here, only 2 attack paths, not 3. So here, you do have a more kind of natural defense. It is easier to turtle up on 4 bases on this map more than almost any other map in the current map pool. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak. We have the Danish Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player representing Team Falcons, tying up the series 1-1 and punishing the glaive depths of his opponent. It is Solar. We go and welcome one also Tokamak. The feature that I'm referring to are these rocks. On the other maps that I mentioned, there are no rocks. There isn't even a ramp as well. Like it's just open. It's just open here on Pylon and on Maganatha, for example. It is just open, so you have more avenues of attack. Here on Tokamak, it's closed off. It's a ramp and it's closed off as well, so you have less attack paths to worry about. It is easier to fortify yourself on your 3 and 4 base setup here. Likewise, there are also other ramps, other points of elevation where you can also pull off defenses when it comes to this low ground ramp and this high ground ramp as well. So force fields, defensive concaves as well. They have a better defensive setup. Likewise here on the right hand side as well. So we don't expect to see anything as aggressive. I wouldn't be surprised if MaxPax plays standard and plays more defensively and just builds up on 4 bases. We'll see how Solo will change his approach as well. We shall see. Now, because of how proxies and the warping mechanic works, technically MaxPax can still be aggressive and still go for like an 8k3 base all-in or something along those lines. He can still go into early blink and still gain map control early on. We don't expect Glaives 2 games in a row. No shot. We don't quite expect that. As Zerlo pokes in, Stargate is on the way. Once again, Stargate opener. Now, both in game 1 and in game 2, we did have MaxPax open Void Ray 2 games in a row. We could open Void Ray for a 3rd time, or we can go into Oracle play. If we're expecting a longer game, I do see a lot of value in getting into Oracles early on, because that means you have more Oracles faster, and they can provide so much utility to your army. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is the first time that we see MaxPax open Oracle this series. As the Stargate is almost done. And show us what you got. Huh. Yep, Oracle first. Again, this makes sense. Like, if you're expecting a longer game, if you're expecting a longer macro game, then early Oracles, they do so much here. It isn't just about getting drone damage, it's more about the stasis traps, more about the pulsar beams. They help defend your 3rd base, they help defend your main army, they help deal with any kind of committed pushes with their stasis traps. And this also shows us that he is really concerned with denying the Overlord and denying the scouting, as is probably not going to be anything to hide. So we're gearing up towards something more standard. You'll let Epsay do threaten a shade into the natural. And, oh, they don't quite commit. The Spore isn't ready. Yeah, Spore's not ready. He gets 1, he gets 2 drone kills already. Not bad. 2 workers go down, the Oracle threatening the main. And doesn't quite commit. Recalls back home. Likewise at Epsay shade into the 3rd base. Trading well against the Lings. And already this is getting a bit out of hand. Solo producing more Lings to try to counterattack. Meanwhile, both Oracles, they move out once again. And mining is being denied. Oracles, where do we head? Here there's no way. They're going for the drones. Yeah, they commit into the worker line. They get 1. Just the 1. 3 drones in total. 3 drones and 5 Lings. Solo goes for a counterattack, but back at home, MaxPax actually doesn't really have anything to defend. But has plenty of HP. Yeah, he has plenty of time. Behind this, Twilight Council Forge on the way for +1 and Blink. Again, standard follow-up. Oracle is home in time. Meanwhile, getting another 2 drone kills, still no Spore. MaxPax is punishing. Getting 2 more workers. Behind the Solar does go for a faster lair. Solar, he does skip his Roach Horn. I mentioned before that we're kind of gearing up towards something longer here, towards a longer game, so we're just skipping Roaches, and I imagine going straight into Ling Hydra. Yep, there we go. Hydra Den is on the way. And we'll see if Solar goes for a +1 range or +1 melee. We're waiting for the upgrade of choice. They are indicative of certain playstyles. At this point, I would imagine range. That would make the most sense. If the goal is to head into lurker production. Stalkers, they poke in. They pull away. As MaxPax is able to keep up. Zoning back the army. Does zone away, does trade well. Hydras are amassing. Still no upgrades on the Eva Chamber, which is a little bit concerning. Still no upgrades. Likewise, more Stasis Traps going for the Queens. Doesn't quite pick them up. But despite that, knife trades here from MaxPax. Stasis does connect. Catching out those Lings. MaxPax still pushing forward behind this, taking up, going for Storm, going for Charge. Just keeping up when it comes to his tech. As he's holding his own. Yeah, behind this he holds his own. Solar, he is massing. He is not droning, by the way. He's going for the all-in. Yeah, 3-base all-in. Purely Ling Hydra. Now the lack of upgrades makes sense. Now it all makes sense here. No upgrades because Solar, he doesn't intend for the game to go on any longer. He is committing. He is pushing. Storm is still on the way. And MaxPax, he has to buy time. If he can buy enough time for Storm to finish, he will hold. He just needs a little bit more time. A couple more seconds. Storm is almost done. Solar is completely all-in with Ling Hydra. The slow Hydras, they're waddling in. Takes down some of the Zealots. Forcing back those Stalkers. Does force them back. Storm is done. Oh, brutal Storm on the Hydras. And remember, Hydra speed isn't done. He can't get out. He cannot escape the Storms. Oh, one of them does graze. But so many Hydras going down. Ay, ay, ay. Charge complete. So many Hydras are falling. These are expensive losses here for Solar. He can't afford this. Does take down both of the Archons, but Zealots do a great job tanking. And Solar, he's being shut down. Losing how many? Losing 22 Hydras. And MaxPax holds. He does hold on. He does warp in another High Templar, getting ready for another Storm. And remember, Solar, he has no drones. He has no drones. He has no saturation. He has no upgrades. And he's not done. Solar, I mean, you can't transition out of this. You cannot transition. So Solar, he's just doubling down. He's committing into the all-in. It's all he can do. But the longer this goes on, the worse it is for Solar. That's a lot of High Templar. That's going to be a lot of Storms. And saying that, though, yeah, there we go. First Storm does connect. Lings, they try to get into the mineral line. High Templar, they're holding their own. Oh! High Templar, they do pull away. One gets started down. Down to 4. Ooh, down to 3. One Storm connects. There's one Storm left. He's trying to hold on to it. There we go. Storm on the Hydras. Queens are waddling in as well. It's so close, it's so clutch, but these Zealots, they trade so nicely here against these Hydras. Go for the feedbacks. Feedbacks the Queens. Takes down the Hydras. And MaxPax holds. He does hold on. He takes down the Hydras, takes down the Queens as well. There's nothing left. One Hydra remaining, down to 0. And MaxPax, he doesn't lose any workers. His 4th base is finishing. No shot. Finishing up his 4th base. +2 is almost done as well for MaxPax. MaxPax's army is just getting better and better. And Solar, his army is getting worse. Or it's just staying stagnant, I should say. And here we go. Does move in. Does cut back. GG gets called, and MaxPax, he will claim, or he will take a further lead in the series, 2-1. GG. Whew. GG. Who beat Astrea? Mute. But GG, well played. Again, Solar, he committed to the all-in. Again, as time went on, he wasn't quite able to commit. He wasn't quite able to keep it going. MaxPax, who was already rushing the Storm, and Storm did finish up just in time. And again, with Storms, like the Ling Hydra just completely melted there. It was still close, though, still very close. Solar, he was almost able to strike before Storm, but he wasn't quite able to. And again, as time went on, we had more Charge Lots, more Zealots, more High Templar. GG. GG will play this whole defense there by MaxPax. And MaxPax, he's one game away from claiming the series. One game away. And here we go. We're getting into our next game. And I'm hoping that we can force the ace match. I'm hoping that we can have a back and forth here, but the pressure is on Solar. The pressure is on. As we are getting into our next game. Getting into the next game, getting into Incorporeal, another one of these larger maps. I'm a little bit surprised that Solar did go for the all-in. If you remember the lead up to Tokamak, we were talking about how defensive the map is. And I mean, I have to reiterate that as well once again, right? The map is very defensive. The map is helping MaxPax when it comes to fortifying himself, when it comes to the ramps, the choke points, the rush distance by ground as well. So it was a difficult all-in there for Solar to pull off, as the map wasn't helping, and with that, GG. GG well played. MaxPax, he extends his lead, and now we're getting into game number 4. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Psystorm Gaming, leading the series 2-1 and one game away from claiming the series. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player, himself, representing Team Falcons from South Korea. It is Solar. And here we go. We're getting into our next game. We're getting into potential game 4 and potentially the ace match. The pressure is on Solar. And what I will say is aggression hits a little bit different here on Incorporeal. The problem on Tokamak is that when you go for an all-in like that, you can only really strike the third base. You can't really rotate between the third and the natural. Here, you somewhat can. Right, there's an opening here towards the third, opening towards the southern third base, and also an opening here towards the natural as well. Now there are a bunch of ramps, which does make things a little bit more awkward when it comes to pushing in, more so than other maps. But regardless, this is more open compared to Tokamak, so you have options. You have options when it comes to rotating, when it comes to striking the natural or the third. We are settling in. And coming into Incorporeal, we'll see if MaxPax once again opens Oracle. We have seen nothing but Stargate play, but MaxPax, he has mixed up whether it's Void Ray, whether it's Oracle. Has adjusted. Meanwhile, standard opener out of Solar. Nothing crazy. Does go for his own standard opener. And again, we've attempted certain all-in, certain aggressive styles. Coming into Incorporeal, I want to say that I want to favor that kind of play a little bit more so than on Tokamak, but again, even then, the rushes by ground is still quite long. And there are a lot of ramps. We'll see. So now Solar claims his third. Likewise, Stargate is on the way. No surprise there. Based on the rally, it does feel like an Oracle opener. Oh, hello. As MaxPax, he opens up Adept, not into a second Adept, he opens Adept into Stalker instead. Interesting. Now with the Stalker, he'll be able to zone away the Overlord and force it back. The downside is that now there is one less Adept to harass, and that means he has less to really threaten Solar early on. Like, double adept can be amazing. Double adept can one-shot drones and can threaten a third player quite hard. Does poke in. And that is going to be forced back. Meanwhile, the Oracle has arrived. Third base now being taken. MaxPax moves out. Back at him, Solar. He has his spores on the way. He has a spore at the natural, no spore in the main, but he has 2 queens. And that should be enough to zone away. It should be. So the Oracle's forced back. Behind this, Twilight Council's in production. That is an earlier Twilight Council, and from here we can go into something like Glaive Adepts a little bit earlier. We'll keep an eye on MaxPax. There we go, Gateway Explosion. Are we going for the Glaives? I don't see a Forge. And no Forge here from MaxPax. Oh, never mind. There's the Forge going into Blink. So Blink is on the horizon. Blink, they do hit the third. Stalker's ready. Oracle finds 3 drones across the map. Yeah, brutal damage, getting 3 so far, no spore at the third. Threatening for another dive. Yeah, so here we do see Solar just setting up here on his 3 bases. Is going to be droning. Likewise, behind this is going to be just +1 and Blink. Standard follow-up here out of MaxPax. Just vying for map control. This game, Solar, he does not skip the Roach Warren, so we have the safety Roach Warren on the way. In case it was something like Glaive Adepts. And this time we should be seeing an upgrade. Again, I do apologize last game for not recognizing, like the lack of upgrade was intentional for the all-in. So we'll keep a closer eye on Solar. We'll do our best. There we go. Yeah, +1 range on the way, Roach speed. Investing into Roaches. Is going to commit. Likewise, Ling's going to be forced back. MaxPax rotating out. He's making his way towards his base. Threading the third. Behind this Temple Archives here. MaxPax working towards Storm once again. Solar, he isn't droning. We have Overlord speed on the way. He's going for the all-in. He's going to commit. Roaches, Queens, going to double down. The army is going to be forced back. Yeah, and one way or another, the game is going to end here. Either Solar breaks MaxPax or he dies trying. Forcing him back. Decent stasis traps, slowing him down. Here come the Dropper Lords again. Overlord speed was the sign. No saturation at the 4th base, just for Larva. And it's just all or nothing for Solar. Again, he just has to commit. Back at home, Storm is not yet done, but it's being chronoed. Shield batteries are on the way. Cannon, yeah, he knows. Yeah, MaxPax, he recognizes what's going on. We have cannons, shield batteries, defensive setup. 4th base is a little bit greedy here for MaxPax. But he is fortifying himself. Nice bait on the stasis. Queens are moving in. Queens are moving forward. A Storm on the Roaches. Oh my god, the Overlord goes down! No! The Overlord goes down! That was what, 3 Queens? And now they're not a part of this. The Storms are brutal. As Solar takes all the Storms to the face. Oh god, he stands in the storms and that's gonna be game. GG gets called. The army just crumbles before MaxPax. GG, and MaxPax, he will take the series 3-1, and he will be this week's PiGosaur Cup champion. GG. Ay. Brutal all in there. I mean, again, MaxPax saw coming ahead of time. There was maybe potential for Solo to pull that off, but everything went wrong. He took all the storms to the face. More importantly, he lost the drop load early on as well. Like, the drop load was the first thing to be sniped, so the queens could not unload, no transfuse, and the storms were brutal. Yes, roaches are tanky, they can take some storms to the face, but not like that. not like that, papi. Ay. GG, well played. With that, MaxPax, he will be our champion this week, but a shout out to Solar for making it to the finals, for having a series with MaxPax as well, to make a series out of it, I should say. Forcing game 4, didn't quite force the ace match, but MaxPax, he was favored coming into this to begin with. He was favored as one of the best Protoss players in the world, of course. GG, well played. How you specified 8 storms? Yeah, it's really good, especially when you're up against an all-in, like getting into storm, whether it's a roach based all-in or a Ling Hydra based all-in. Storms are a secure way to shut those all-ins down, as you saw. They are a secure way. GG, well played. This is how to play PvZ. God, I stay mute. Yo, shout out to mute in the chat. Papi, shout out to mute. Good to see you. Este mute. But yes, GG, well played. Congratulations here to MaxPax, and again, a shout out to Solar. With that, that is going to wrap up our tournament for the week. When it comes to future PiGosaur Cups, we still don't know whether this is going to be on Tuesdays or Wednesdays on a more regular basis. I know that for a long time it was on Monday, or Monday, at least in the Americas, I should say. But I know that there is initiative to try to move it, just because it is really brutal for the players. If you know this, the players that usually stay up 24 hours to play in all 3 tournaments. There's a weekly tournament for the Korean region, there's one for the European region, and then this is the Americas region weekly, and they go back to back to back 3 events in a row, which is, I mean, commendable that players do stay up all night and they play in all 3 events, but we probably don't want to incentivize that sort of thing. Like, we want players to get some rest, want them to look after themselves. So there is a push to maybe move this event on a more regular basis on Tuesday/Wednesday instead of Monday/Tuesday, to allow players to rest and to sleep and to recover and to recuperate. But it comes down to the organizer of the event, so we'll see if that happens. Personally, I'm fond of the idea. I do like the idea of letting players get rest and get sleep, and not, you know, dedicate their entire day to playing in non-stop tournaments. I'm all for that, but again, it comes down to what the players want and what the organizers want as well. So we'll see. I know there's I think there's an active poll for that, to determine what happens. Here we go. You're the people's champion. Este mute. True. Can we get skills for MaxPax replays and casts? I would imagine that they've gone to sleep. I mean, skillless, I mean. So I don't really have contact with the others, so maybe next time. But regardless, GG, well played. I know that Rocklets did cover that series, so if you want to tune into that matchup in Brazilian and Portuguese, then Rocklets have you covered. I believe he was the only caster covering that upper semifinal, so let's go check over there. So casting on the new dates lights, we hope to have something more consistent soon. I mean, for us, we're casting every day anyway. Like we cast twice a day, every single day, regardless. So we're content with either time slot, to be honest. Speaking of, we can switch our scenes over and catch up on our schedule here. As you can see, we do cast twice a day, almost every single day. We do have Wednesday and Friday evenings off. But our schedule, as always, is jam-packed full of StarCraft. Yesterday, we were live with the GSL. Today, we just wrapped up with the PiGosaur Monday. You can see there Wednesday morning. Tomorrow morning, we have a StarCraft Evolution League replay cast, going over the most recent StarCraft Evolution League. We have the Pawn cast tomorrow evening. We have RSL on Friday. Bearing in mind the Revival StarCraft League qualifiers, they're coming. We have one for each region, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 3 days straight of qualifiers. We're going to be all over that. We have the OSC mid-season playoffs on Saturday. We have Sparkling Tuna Cup and the Mayhem on Sunday. And we also have the Fire Grow Cup Anonymous Cup. let's go. If you're curious what that is, it's going to be a 2-day event, King of the Hill format, where the players, their names are hidden. The names are going to be hidden, so you don't know who's actually competing, and there are going to be some like predictions in the chat for who you think is playing. If you think it's like a Nicaract or Milky Cow or Wayne or Young Yakov, we're going to be having some fun there with the Anonymous Cup. So that is going to be a bit of a more laid back kind of a 2-day event. So do check that out. Do tune in. It's going to be a lot of fun, I'm sure. And yeah, as always, our week is going to be full. It's going to be full of casting, full of StarCraft. We do have 2 half days off, so this evening we won't be live with StarCraft. Likewise, Friday evening as well. This is an initiative. This is our New Year's resolution. Usually we cast twice a day, every single day, at least twice a day. But coming into 2025, we did want to at least have some afternoons off so we can take it easy, calm down, take a break, and get some rest. At least for 2 half days during the week. So let's go. Otherwise, 100% I could cast it. Like I have like a backlog of replays. Like I still have to catch up on Kung Fu Cup. Like I have like 3 weeks worth of Kung Fu Cup to catch up on, so I could slot those in. I do have a 2v2 show match with Chairman Special and Beyond and Percival, so I have like a show match to cover. I have Mayhem Day 1 replays to cover. I've got like if I wanted to, I could fully fill it up, but but I gotta take it a little bit easy, a little bit. Some half days off, crazy. I think the only person we lost is Mapu. I think so as well. Yeah, I think he's the only one. But we could potentially gain Zombie Grub. I know Zombie Grub has been on a break, but I think she mentioned that she might be willing to cast on Tuesdays instead. True, in total 1 day off. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you had a great time. Hope you had a great morning. Usually I would be going live on my personal channel and streaming after this event, but I do have some work to catch up on. I do have some VODs to edit, some VODs to schedule as well, some social medias to work on, so I do not have time to ladder today, unfortunately. Maybe on Friday and maybe tomorrow on Thursday. Depends what I'm able to catch up on. So I'm not in the position to ladder at the moment, unfortunately. But again, maybe a later day. Like I know. Maybe tomorrow. I can say tomorrow before the podcast. I'll do my best to ladder and to stream. But not today. Otherwise preoccupied. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, regardless, for the support. Steadfast more likely as well, Chicken Man. There you go. I think Steadfast, he's laddering right now. I was a little bit surprised. Yeah, I'm gonna call him out. I was surprised not to see Steadfast casting today because he's in game. He's laddering. He's been laddering the entire time. Does he know? Does he know that the PiGosaur that it's on? he's just been chilling in game, playing StarCraft, not casting. It's not WoW. It's true. At least it's not WoW. At least it's not World of Warcraft. Shaking my head. Esther Steadfast. But regardless, GG will play. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. And with that, we're going to be heading off for the evening. Do stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid, so give them some love, give them some support. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the StarCraft Evolution League. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time.